Day 4 from the College World Series in Omaha, and this one has a little bit of Texas flavor. Two longtime rivals meet for the right to stay alive. It's an elimination game between TCU and Texas A&M. In a series that dates to 1906, they've never met with so much on the line. Aggies and Horned Frogs to get us started on this day. The winner stays alive, the loser starts their summer.
I mean, TCU A&M have been two of the better programs in the country for the past decade.
We can be heroes everywhere we go. Can have all that we ever want.
Throw to the plate, gets away, and TCU is going to Omaha.
Strike three called. That'll do it. TCU is going back to Omaha. Why don't run it back and do it again?
Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. Two longtime rivals meet here in Omaha. Here's what the bracket looks like later tonight. Louisville and Florida meet on the winner's side. And a thriller last night. Oregon State just pounds LSU. That puts Florida State and LSU in an elimination game tomorrow. Welcome, everybody. Should have a great one on our hands today. Tom Hart alongside Chris Burke and Ben McDonald. And Ben, you know this well. Anytime you go into a big game, you want a big game pitcher. That's what TCU has with Brian Howard.
Yeah, and the Aggies are going to get a lot of 6'9" Brian Howard. I tell you what, he is a senior pitcher. The most starts in college baseball the last 2 years, and he's the first TCU pitcher in history with 2 straight 10-win seasons. His head coach just called him Big Game Howie. Wow, how about this? The last 2 years of the NCAA tournament, he is 5-0 with a 1.23 ERA, working at least 7 innings pitched in all 5 of those starts.
In fact, he ended A&M's season last year in the Super Regional. Meanwhile, Chris Burke, there's some great stars at the plate. They got these programs here, but they haven't necessarily played like stars this week.
Yeah, it was a struggle for both these teams, All-Americans. They each hit third. Braden Shoemake for Texas A&M and Evan Scoug for TCU. They are right in the middle of the order for both of these clubs. But both of them came up empty in game 1. They were not putting the ball in play. To be fair, Evan Scoug has been outstanding in the postseason. Braden Shoemake, however, has really sputtered down the stretch of his freshman campaign. They're going to need a big game out of him if they're going to advance.
These teams first met in 1906. They meet for the 260th time today. But Mike Rooney, there's never been so much on the line.
Yeah, Tom, you're exactly right. This has become a fierce rivalry in college baseball. The teams have played 7 times over the last 3 seasons. 3 of them have gone to extra innings. But more importantly, TCU has ended A&M's season in each of the last 2 seasons by beating them in Game 3 of a Super Regional. Today's an elimination game. You know the Aggies are dying to return the favor.
Get ready for some drama, and you might want to pack a lunch. We might be here a while. 3 extra inning games in the last 7. What makes it different? Well, this is a national championship run and a title on the line here in Omaha.
It's just the goal. It's the dream. It's the light at the end of the tunnel. It's where you're trying to get. It's what you play for your whole life.
It's the ultimate goal, the ultimate tournament to be in.
We realize that, our time's running out and we need to take care of business because you never know if you're going to get back there next year.
Some Texas heat here in Omaha today. Texas A&M and TCU in an elimination game here in day number 4 from the College World Series. Number 6 national seed Horned Frogs meeting up with their rivals. They've ended their season each of the last 2 years. Brian Howard, St. Louis, Missouri native, at St. Louis University High School, an 8th-round pick of the A's, 6'9", 185. He gets the ball for the Horned Frogs today. 11 wins on this season against just 3 losses, 101 strikeouts in 98 innings.
Yeah, he is an emotional guy on the mound. You'll see it. The cutter is the key for him. The fastball's up to 92, but the cutter is his out pitch, is his best pitch, and he has been a big game pitcher, especially the last 2 years for the Horned Frogs.
He hasn't allowed a run in 9 career innings pitched against Texas A&M. Nick Chorby leads off for the Aggies and looks at a first pitch strike, 0-1. Chorby, a senior from Portland, Oregon, out of Jesuit High School, had a good game the other day with 2 hits in 5 at-bats. Nationals grabbed him with their 18th round selection last week. We'll see some bend to that fastball from Howard today.
Well, he's 6'9". He likes to get it up on top of it, get some tilt to it, which he should be. Mostly a ground ball pitcher. Twice as many ground balls as fly balls.
Leaves one up, 1-2 now. Brian Howard has turned into a pitcher that gets better as the game goes along. We saw it in the Super Regional win in Game 3 last year against Texas A&M. It seems like if you can't get to this guy early, he's going to build momentum. His catcher is Evan Scoud. And it's away for 2-2.
Yeah, Jim Schlossnagle said it's been a consistent trend throughout his career that he is usually better on his last 50 pitches than he is on his first 50 pitches. So if you're A&M, you want to be ultra aggressive early and try to take advantage of some of the mistakes that he is prone to make early in the ball game.
Jorby can't find a breaking ball. That'll take care of him. One down. This is a Texas A&M batting order. It's hitting .274 on the season, 6th in the SEC and 6th in the league in home runs. Here's their Capital One batting order.
Braden Shoemake right in the middle of it. We talked about it in the open. If they're going to win this ball game, I think they're going to need production out of their All-American SEC Freshman of the Year, 3-hole hitting second baseman. Again, it's a heavy load he's been carrying throughout the course of this season, and it seems like it's starting to really catch up to him, as it just hadn't been the same swing that we saw earlier in the year.
This is Cole Bedford for Texas A&M. Back-to-back breaking balls from Howard. It was interesting talking to the TCU coaches about Howard and his pitch selection. Earlier this season against Kansas, 62 of his last 63 pitches they said were fastballs.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets on top and he gets that tilt going, it's a good fastball. And him being 6'9", obviously, he's closer to home plate when he lets the ball go.
That's foul.
So when that's the case, of course, if it's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, because he's maybe 6 inches closer to home plate because of his length, that 90-mile-an-hour fastball will play like 92 or 93, so it can jump on you at the end.
And it's also got a lot of movement. So there's sometimes we're going to see it's not going to look a heck of a lot like a fastball as he throws a cutter for head coach Tim Schlossnagle.
It's not like the Bugs Bunny movement. It's just that angle. It's from where it's coming to where it finishes. And what I love about TCU is they're not afraid to stick with something if it's working. The fact that they threw 60 straight pitches basically in the same location will show you that if you can't hit it, they're not going to deviate.
Fourth consecutive trip to the College World Series for the Horned Frogs.
Ball.
Meanwhile, A&M's looking for its first win here in Omaha since 1993. Their 6th College World Series. Tried to come from behind against Louisville, but left their rally short. Bedford's a 300 hitter, 1 for 3 the other night. And he pops it up on the left side, but it's going to find the seats. Season on the line for both programs today. Bedford's hitting 300 in the season, as you saw, and it's about 70 points higher than expected. I mean, they wanted him to be behind the plate and give him a little bit of offensive production, but he's having a monster season and playing well above expectations for A&M.
Yeah, they were just hoping that he could do the job behind the plate, and the fact that he's hitting 300 and batting in the 2-hole has been a really nice surprise for Rob Childress.
Another breaking ball from Howard. Back-to-back strikeouts to start this one for Big Game Howie.
Yeah, he gets the first strikeout on that cut fastball, the cutter he calls it. That was more of the overhand breaking ball, a little bit bigger break to it, a little bit slower. Watch the location again. See Scout rocks to the outside corner and ball just peppered right off the edge and down at the knees. Can't do it a whole lot better than this. Now, this is 6'9" coming at you folks right here. That's a lot of bend and a lot of arms and legs coming your way.
Braden Shoemake, the freshman, delivers his first hit of the week. First pitch swinging, and he's going to stretch it for 2. Well, there you go, Chris Burke. He'd been scuffling lately, looking for his first hit in Omaha, so he gets aggressive.
And you got to credit him being ready to swing the bat after a tough performance and a couple punch-outs out of the gate for Howard. He wasn't going to wait around, and this is right into his happy zone, folks. A heater down and away, and I love the length. Watch the barrel path through the front part of the hitting zone. And he can use that backside gap. Watch the direction of this sweet spot work from back to front there. Tremendous length through the front part of the hitting zone. And a little shimmy at the end for you, Benny Mac.
You can drive it that hard the other way. It'll make a pitcher shimmy a little bit too, yeah. That's scary. That tells me one thing. He likes it away. Middle away, down and away, pretty good swing. Might have to change it up on him next time.
Another freshman here for Texas A&M. It's Hunter Coleman. Freshman out of Midland, Texas, Midland Lee High School. His dad, David, the head coach at Midland College and a former coach at Texas A&M. Coleman was born in College Station.
Ball down, son.
His dad came here as an assistant coach on Mark Johnson's staff. And now Hunter here in his first season in an Aggie uniform. Last year, Texas A&M was a 49-win team, lost to TCU in the Supers. 2 years ago, they were a 50-win team, lost to TCU in the Supers. This A&M team, with all due respect, isn't supposed to be here in Omaha. This is supposed to be a rebuilding year after 13 were drafted after off of last year's squad.
Yeah, I don't think anybody saw this coming. You know, and the way they began conference play, they lost their first 5 ball games. It didn't look too good, but then kind of found their way. They won 5 conference series in a row, then stumbled a little bit down the stretch again with a younger team, but really got it going in the postseason. And here they are again, back in Omaha for the second time in 7 years.
They had to go on the road for the regional down to Houston. They saw some familiar names. Houston was the 1 seed. Baylor was the 2 seed. And the 4 seed, a very good Iowa Hawkeye squad. Then had the chance to host a super regional when Davidson College went on its surprise run. Extra inning win in game 1. Then outlasted them in game 3. And Howard showing emotion early. He works his way around the double by Shoemake. And when he's pitching with his emotion, he is really good. Brian Howard, big game Howie, K's the side in the first.
Yeah, how about big game Howie? The slider is working for him right now. He's got the Horned Frogs off to a good start as he punches out the side.
No score as we go to the home half of the first inning in Omaha. Elimination game between Texas A&M and number 6 national seed TCU. Aggies juggled their rotation a little bit in their game 1 loss to Louisville, taking no chances here. 6'3" right-hander Stephen Kolek out of Shepherd, Texas, gets the ball for Texas A&M. 4-4 on the season as he makes his 16th start. Great double play pitcher, leads the SEC with 9 double plays behind him. And we take a look at his scouting report.
Yeah, strikeout to walk ratio, very good. Strike thrower, 4-1, but he's a 4-pitch guy. Fastball's up to 94 miles an hour, has a curveball and a slider. Slider's the out pitch. And boy, his last outing, he was outstanding in the Super Regional. He's got shut down stuff.
Kolek got the start against TCU back on March 4th that turned into an extra inning affair. A 15-inning TCU walk-off win. A little Lupton magic for the Horned Frogs at their home ballpark. Kolek went 4 innings with 1 run ball that day. He was one of 8 pitchers to take the mound for Texas A&M. Here's Austin Wade, the junior from Midland, Texas. First team Big 12 selection and a 5th-round pick of the Cleveland Indians. Wade struggled with the bat in the Super Regional, but he did drive in the game-winning run with a bases-loaded walk in the 7th inning. Game 2 of their win against Davidson. A very patient hitter. Exactly what you want in the leadoff spot, and Kolek having a hard time finding the strike zone early.
Yeah, these first innings are always tough, especially here in Omaha. If you can get your guy through the first inning, hopefully he can find his rhythm and get it going. Because it seems like these pitchers, if they navigate through the first 1 or 2 innings, they normally seem to find that rhythm and get going.
Leadoff walk to Wade. This is a TCU team that can run. They will run with abandon and pressure you defensively. 10th in the nation with 102 stolen bases. Here's our Capital One batting order. Everybody seemingly can run. They are missing Lucan Baker, the big power threat, who's out with an injury, but Evan Scoug's got some juice of his own in the 3-hole.
Yeah, talking to Jim Schlossnagle today, he said he's not sure he's ever seen a player carry a team down the stretch like Evan Scoug has in an offense that doesn't have a ton of juice. 20 home runs with that bullseye on his back. He has been everything they could possibly hope for down the stretch.
Here's Zach Humphreys. Freshman from DeSoto, Texas. Starting in the DH role, thanks in large part to the injury to Baker. That's created some pressure for Scoud to be the big bat. Wade at first. 3 of the top 5 base stealers in the Big 12 wear the purple of TCU.
When you play TCU, you know you have to defend the running game. They can steal bases with anybody in this field. They force you to hold and pick. Think about pitching out.
And there they go. Grounded to the left side and foul. Jim Schlossnagle is the head coach of TCU, but he gives his assistants great autonomy, including Bill Mosiello, who's in charge of running the offense. And his MO has been and continues to be, we're not going to give up outs. We're not going to bunt. If we're going to try to move guys up, we're going to do it with our legs or hitting and running.
Yeah, one of my favorite offensive coaches in all of college baseball. I just think he does an outstanding job of getting the most out of his roster every year and does it without the need of giving up outs.
So what kind of pressure does that put on a pitching staff?
A lot. I mean, you got to be quick to the plate, and that can get you out of your comfort zone. When I start to get a little bit quick, trying to be fast to home plate, that's when all of a sudden I leave the breaking ball up in the zone sometimes, leave the fastball up in the zone. So for me, I just tried to vary my moves. I wouldn't let you get. I wanted to make sure I planted your feet over at first base. I didn't want to let you get that walk-in lead on me. Because if you got that walk-in lead, I was normally in trouble.
Jeff Head down the first base line. Heath Jones behind the plate calling balls and strikes, and that appeal denied. 2-2.
And these are the kind of counts that puts a lot of pressure on the pitching coach. So you know you got a guy at first that wants to run. You got a pitcher on the mound that wants to get throw a swing and miss breaking ball. And in a 2-2 count, Bill Mosiello loves to send the runner. Don't be surprised if you see him go right here.
Snap throw to first. Bedford has 5 pickoffs this season from behind the plate for Texas A&M. Stephen Kolek, his catcher Bedford, and there goes the runner. It's ball 4. So 2 on with nobody out. Exactly what TCU wants with their big power threat striding to the plate. It's been an all or nothing postseason for Scout. 20 home runs on the year. And the junior from Libertyville, Illinois was the Big 12 co-player of the year. 7th round pick last week of the White Sox. First 20 home run frog in 20 years for TCU. And every time he makes contact in the postseason, the ball seems to leave the yard.
It's not a home run friendly park. I mean, that 20 years since somebody for TCU has hit 20 bombs. The wind blows in consistently, especially off the right. And this is a young man that has cut balls through the wind all season long. And as we've detailed already, he's done it in the biggest moments for them down the stretch. You take a look at him in this tournament. 6 hits, all for extra bases. And these aren't cheap ones late in ball games. These are home runs that have either given them a lead or extended the lead.
And how about the look for Evan Scout? The pine tar slathered on the helmets, letting the beard go. He's got the eye black running all the way down the cheekbones. I mean, no batting gloves. This dude is old school, dirty, gritty, and he produces.
He's dangerous. I don't think that's eye black. I think we call that face paint.
Yeah.
And he's got the look. There's no doubt about it. And right now you're in a really tough spot after a couple great at-bats to start this ball game. There is nowhere to put him.
So Rob Childress is the head coach for Texas A&M, also their pitching coach, and he comes out to have a word with Stephen Kolek, gathering the infield as well. "12 pitches thus far for Stephen Kolek and having a hard time with the strike zone. 9 of his 12 have missed the strike zone." Rob Childress is looking for his 500th win with the victory today, and what would be the Aggies' first win here in Omaha since '93. So back to work, behind in the count to one of the most dangerous hitters in college baseball with 2 aboard in the first inning. Great job behind the plate by Cole Bedford, because TCU, as much as they straight steal, they also run really well with the ball in the dirt.
And this is one of the most athletic catchers you will find. Boy, he can get out of his crouch and get to the baseball. How about this, Ben? Get around it and then get up to the feet, because you know you got an opportunistic offense. Excellent job right there by Bedford.
That looks like your old catcher, Mike Bianco, behind the plate.
When you see a catcher spread out like that, I mean, that's how, if you're sitting at home watching from the center field view, when you see a catcher really spread out wide, you can bet breaking ball's coming, because that's how they have to spread out. You see how he wasn't quite as spread that time, the knees were closer together? That's almost a giveaway every time. If fastball's coming when the knees are close together, when you see a catcher jump wide, you can bet breaking ball's coming.
Does that only apply with runners on base or all the time?
With runners on base most of the time. Most guys don't spread out a whole lot. But on third strikes, they'll have to, because they got to block it and throw you out at first base if there's a strikeout. See him a little inside move to second base. But watch you catcher Bedford. And you got to be close. You know, you got to be careful as a catcher sometimes not to do that too quickly, because a runner at second base, for instance, for TCU, could be able to tip something off.
Could a hitter peek at that and get an advantage?
Oh, yeah. If you see the catcher setting up differently between fastball and breaking ball, it is a green light special. And you start getting verbals from the dugout there, too. I would be surprised if Bedford's making too big of movements with your head coach being a pitching coach. If he's varying his looks in a way that's obvious to everybody, that is a big no-no.
8 of Scoug's 20 home runs have come with runners in scoring position.
No, I think he's good. I don't think he's doing it too soon. How about that 3-1 right on the inside corner? And those are the type of pitches you have to hit. And one knock on Scoug, I mean, he's been outstanding, especially of late, but 90 strikeouts on the year is a lot. So if you can get ahead of him and start to expand a little bit, you can get some good. We saw Faedo the other day against him, you know, make some outstanding pitches with that slider.
Scoug came to the plate with the bases loaded against Florida's ace and struck out. He was hitless against the Gators. Here's the payoff with 2 on in the first inning. And a swing through at 92. A huge strikeout for Stephen Kolick, 1 down.
Yeah, that is gigantic right there. 3-1 count. You're in a hole as a pitcher, but I tell you what, 2 outstanding pitches by Kolick. And look at this. See that run and dip on a fastball. That's just 92. Watch Scoug right here.
They really lost the barrel on that swing. That's a pretty good pitch to hit right there in a full count. And the barrel gets loose on the backside of the swing. And on a ball that had pretty good depth, he missed under.
So Cam Warner to the plate now. Warner, native of Australia. Might have heard the chant right before that first pitch. From Canberra, Australia. They don't have high school baseball down under. He played for a time in one of the MLB training centers. In fact, that basically was his high school. Classes during the day. Practices or games at night at the training academy. One of the first that MLB put internationally. And came stateside and played at Hill Junior College in Texas. Was originally an outfielder at junior college. They loved his bat. They just needed to find a position for him.
Roll inside.
And ran inside on Cam Warner, and the count 1-1.
I like Cam Warner. That's a good-looking body, an athletic kid, physical second baseman. I think the Tigers got a good one.
First team all Big 12 selection. And Detroit, with their 28th round pick last week, picked him up. 1-2. It is kind of odd, if you're not familiar with college baseball, that the Major League Draft happens during the college baseball season, and that's been a bone of contention on the college side for years now.
Come on, Ted. Come on, baby.
One ball and 2 strikes to Warner. It's one heck of a distraction to try to put up with him. Ben, you had to do it when you were pitching right here in the College World Series when you went first overall.
It used to be, you know, back in the late 80s, it used to be a lot later than it is right now. That was a big-time distraction. You had a press conference in the morning, go pitch a game at the College World Series that night. Hated that.
Well, the option is maybe if you wouldn't have gotten drafted, you wouldn't have had to deal with it. So I think
That's
it's
true.
okay.
Oh, yeah. I'm not complaining too much.
I was about to say, you want us to feel sorry for you?
No.
You pick first?
No.
Are you okay?
I'm okay with it.
All right.
Yeah, how about that for a bad day? Oh, woe was me. I go first overall, and I have to pitch in the College World Series.
Man, if I had your stuff, there ain't no such thing as a bad day. Huh?
Yeah. You think that? Jump out there on that big league mound. We all have bad days, I can promise you.
First two batters of this game were walked by Stephen Kohler. And now he's got a 3-2 count to Cam Warner. This is a TCU batting order that had just 5 hits in their game against Florida 2 days ago. 5 for 31. A disappointing offensive performance, but it came against a first-rounder, Alex Faedo, for the Gators. Into the seats on the right side, and when you talk to the TCU coaching staff, they admit sometimes the other guy's just better than you.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. I mean, look, Alex Faedo can shut anybody down on any given day, and you just hope the day you get him that the fastball command's a little loose and the slider's maybe a little flatter. You get Alex Faedo where he's got life on the heater and the sharp slider, it's going to be curtains for just about anybody.
He had some tilt on that thing where he punched out 11 in 7 innings against TCU.
Faedo, yeah, was just a 6th pitcher in the last 30 years in the College World Series to strike out 10 and not allow a run in the CWS game. Runners go, throw to third. Got him, and a strikeout throw out double play to close the first. Cole Bedford delivers a strike to George Yancha, and Austin Wade erased from the base paths. The aggressiveness for TCU cost them in the first.
Yeah, Stephen Kolick finally got the breaking ball going, throws a good one. And how about the dart throw by Bedford down to Yancha? We're going to the second.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet?
Texas-sized showdown here between TCU and Texas A&M, and great defense to close out the first inning. We're scoreless as we move to the second. Blake Kopetsky, Walker Pennington, and Joel Davis due up for the Aggies here in the second against Big Game Howie, Brian Howard. Anybody ever call you Big Game Ben?
No.
Huh. Big Game Howie kind of has a ring to it, doesn't it?
It does. Well, when you do what he's done in the postseason in the last 2 years for TCU, I mean, when you've got a 1.2 ERA and you're 5-0, pretty special.
Struck out 11 against Missouri State in postseason action. Howard, honorable mention, all Big 12 selection out of St. Louis University High, a junior Billiken. Here's Kopetsky from right there in Bryan, Texas, just down the road from A&M's campus. A couple of home runs and 20 driven in.
Oh,
and
that's
Kopetsky goes down swinging.
Execution right there.
Well, that last half inning ended with a caught stealing on a strikeout throwout double play. Chris Burke is going to walk us through why it wasn't a great tag.
Well, Tommy, we've been seeing this all season long, and we're seeing too many infielders reach for the base runner instead of putting the glove down. So what I want to see from infielders is to catch that ball and get the glove to the front of the base. Don't catch the ball and reach for the runner, but catch the baseball and snap that thing down and get that right to the foot of the base runner. To me, now you're taking the guesswork out for the umpire.
It was George Yancha at third after the throw from Cole Bedford. It was a double steal attempt with Austin Wade and Zach Humphreys. Walker Pennington looks at a breaking ball in for a strike. This was the play to end the inning. So Berkey, the tag.
So yeah, so you watch where the tag is. Yeah, way up there on the knee, instead of getting that glove right to the front part of the base. And I tell you what, I think they got him, but just by about an inch. You put that glove on the dirt. You go watch Yancha here. He catches this ball. Put it on the dirt. Don't reach for the runner. And they got away with one there. Put it on the dirt, right in front of the bag. Why are we reaching for the leg? He's still out, but that was closer than it needed to be.
Just play devil's advocate is maybe he's reaching for that to avoid taking spikes? Like, does that take you out of the danger zone if you can reach a little bit?
Come on, man. We're at the College World Series. You're going to wear some spikes in the knuckles every once in a while. I'm not worried about spikes. Come on, Tommy.
I'm just asking. I mean, come up with something, right?
Come on, man.
Well, then why doesn't everybody do it?
It's a sloppy tag. That's it.
Big game Howie producing 5 Ks already.
I think so. Y'all talking about tagging people on the ankles and knees, and my man's punched out 5 of the first 6. There's that cutter again. The cutter has been really good for him. That's what he's got most of the strikeouts on. You can see that ball starts on the outer third and then runs right off the outside corner.
Here's Joel Davis. First start here in Omaha for Davis, who had missed some time with a foot injury. Broken foot in mid-May. Took a little time getting used to playing over at first base and still sore, so only using him in the DH role. Kind of intense as a teacher.
Look, again, we got a chance to get off the field on a strike him out, throw him out. We don't have time for loose, sloppy tags, right? You know what I mean? Like, get the glove on the ground and let's get off the field. Let's not leave it up to the umpire to guess whether the foot got in there or not. It's just too much at stake.
In Omaha or otherwise. What do you think of Brian Howard thus far?
Outstanding. I mean, he's mostly been fastball, cutter. We've seen a couple of big breaking balls, and now we saw the first changeup. So all of a sudden, he's got 3 pitches going now, starting to work in the 4th one right now. Oh, look at that.
They can't touch him. 6 strikeouts through 2 innings for Brian Howard, and he sprints off the mound for TCU. Everything's working for the big right-hander.
Big game. Howie's got the breaking balls going, both of them. That was the bigger of the 2, and I tell you what, you don't think he's an emotional young man. The senior, he's here for one reason, and that's to win the College World Series. Going to the bottom of the 2nd, 0s.
TD Ameritrade, home of the College World Series. It's been here in Omaha since 1950, and a loaded crowd this year. Oregon State was magnificent last night against LSU. Louisville won its opener. We might have a collision course heading for a championship series. Number 6 seed TCU and Texas A&M scoreless as we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Tom Hart, Chris Burke, Ben McDonald, and Coach Mike Rooney down on the field with us. Nolan Brown leads off the 2nd for the Horned Frogs of TCU. Brown dumps it into left field. A fair ball to Karams off the fence, and Nolan Brown will hustle his way to 2nd just ahead of the tag. First hit of the game for the Horned Frogs.
2nd inning in a row, they've had a runner at second base and nobody out. Nolan Brown, look how far in this ball is, and he slices that ball down the left field line. Ton of side spin, and I'm surprised somebody runs like Nolan Brown. He wasn't hunting a double right out of the gate. He almost stopped coming around first, and that hesitation made it a little closer at 2nd than you'd think it would be for somebody with the speed of Brown.
14th double of the season for Nolan Brown. Elliot Barzilli at the plate for TCU. Fouled straight back. Let's check in with Mike Rooney.
Hey, guys, this is why pitch count is such a tricky, misleading stat at times. I mean, Brian Howard's basically throwing a bullpen out there. And for Kolek, every single pitch has felt like a stressful one.
That's a great point, Runes. It's been real easy for Howard, but Kolek's been behind. He walked the first 2 that he faced in the first inning, and he's 50-50. Ball strikes not where he wants to be. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And he fouls it off. Some history behind these two programs, right? I mean, they're longtime rivals, and that history and that rivalry has continued to the big leagues. Matt Carpenter played at TCU, and Michael Waka pitched for Texas A&M. They're both with the Cardinals. They're in Philly tonight. Wonder if they're going to have another bet.
Well, I'm sure there's some not so friendly banter going on between those two.
Waka doesn't throw until tomorrow, so Clubhouse TV might be on this game right now.
Yeah, I'm sure
somebody's going to show up in the other team's uniform tomorrow.
Well, Jim Schlossnagle told me the story of Matt Carpenter and his time on campus and how his redshirt year where he hurt his elbow was really the turning point in his career. And I asked him, did you know Matt Carpenter was going to be a big league all-star? He said, at no point. But I knew he was going to be a very good pro. You just never know how it's all going to shake out. And then, boy, he jumped up quick and has turned into a all-world player.
Three-time All-Star, Silver Slugger winner. And there are no trades in college baseball, but Matt Carpenter was basically traded from Oklahoma State to TCU. He was committed to Oklahoma State. He was headed there. Oklahoma State needed another piece. They were looking for a pitcher. Jim Schlossnagle was looking for a hitter, and they said, hey, you know what? What if you release your guy and I can get you my guy? And next thing you know, Matt Carpenter not only ends up a Horned Frog, lives right there on campus just beyond center field at Lupton Stadium. Is not only a former player, but a lot of those guys go back and work out in the offseason. They've got big league lockers in the TCU locker room. A roller up the middle, handled there by Holman. And the senior shortstop retires Barzilli. One down.
Chad Huffman and Matt Carpenter with the Cardinals, a couple former Horned Frogs. Chad Huffman's older brother Royce and I were teammates for a while in the Astros organization. Those boys love TCU. And there's a lot to love.
One down for Connor Wanhanen. Both of these programs play in beautiful ballparks. Bluebell Park at Texas A&M, one of the jewels of college baseball, and TCU showed great commitment to the program and invested $7.5 million 2 years ago for a new locker room, lounge, classroom, and more. And part of that, as we were discussing, was, and this is common now in college baseball, is you got your team locker room and then an anteroom with another small locker room for the big league guys or pros to come back and work out at your place in the offseason.
Yeah, and the time around pros can really help the development of a young player. Connor Wanhanen, that's been in this program for a long time, looking for a professional at bat right here as he looks to drive in the first run. And these are the kinds of things, like an at bat right here, the infield back, a runner on third, and less than 2 outs. These are the kind of at bats you want to talk to somebody like Matt Carpenter about, because that's where those guys make their living. What am I looking for? What is your approach? How do you make sure that you execute in a situation like this where you can get a run in without the need of a base hit?
That'll work. Holman for out number 2, but TCU strikes first on Wanhanen's RBI ground out. 1-0 Horned Frogs.
Situational hitting. TCU with a really nice job there. Get them on, get them over, get them in. Some quality at bats as they pepper the middle of the field and move Nolan Brown from third to home without a base hit, but nevertheless get out on top. And as good as Brian Howard has been so far, that is a big first run in this ball game.
Switch hitting Josh Watson at the plate. And a first pitch breaking ball, 0-1 to Watson. It was a standout on the football field at Arlington Martin High School. Got a little help on one side of his defensive line was Justin Hollins as a defensive end, now playing at Oregon. On the other side was first rounder Myles Garrett. Talking to Watson about it the other day, he said, listen, I'm just playing middle linebacker. I got those two studs. I'm allowed to go wherever I want. Rack up 100 tackles in a season because I had nothing else to worry about. What a snare by Yanchoff, the little flare, and that'll close the TCU second. Nolan Brown's double is what sets the table, and the Frogs get their first run across. Brian Howard back on the mound. When we return, Big Ben McDonald's going to break down big game Howie's mechanics. TCU has given Brian Howard a one-run lead. Howard has struck out 6 batters through 2 innings. Off to a heck of a pace. It's a 1-0 lead for the Frogs. It'll be the 8-hole hitter George Jancha to lead off the third. That's right, 7 batters face 6 strikeouts. Braden Shoemake with a double to left field on the first pitch that he saw. Is the only Aggie to reach base here early against Howard. It's a bad sign, Berkey, because Brian Howard is a guy that typically gets stronger as the game goes along. If he starts strong, it's going to be tough for A&M to find some success.
Yeah, it could look like what we've seen from him in the past, where he just gets it going and never stops.
Jancha has had his issues with right-handers. 220 points lower against righties and lefties. 6 home runs on the season for Jancha. The pitch low and away, 1-1. To the left side, nice backhanded play by Ryan Merrill, Omaha native. 1 down. Well, time to break down some pitching. Got tired of the tag, so let's throw it over to Big Ben McDonald.
Yeah, the big right-hander Brian Howard's been really doing it. He's got 6 strikeouts already. He's been doing it mostly with his 2 breaking balls. He's got the big looping breaking ball, then one is a more tighter slider. But I tell you what he did a couple times. He's dropped his arm slot down from a normal slot where he gets a little bit more depth in that breaking ball to one where he comes over a little bit and it's more of a sideways break to it. So it's the same pitch that he's throwing. It's the slider, the cut fastball, whatever you want to call it. But he can make it do 2 different things by moving his arm slot over just a little bit.
And it works.
Yeah, it works because he's throwing one from here, and then he'll drop down a little bit instead of getting, and when he gets on the side of it over here, he can make it go more right to left, and he will kind of north to south in a downward motion.
Does he change his grip at all, or would you teach someone to change their grip in that situation?
No, it's the same grip, but watch the difference in the arm slot. See the one on the left? The one on the picture on your left right there, he's up high. You see where he's up high right there? So that's going to be more of what we call a downward type breaking ball. Then the one on the right, he dropped down an arm slot. Only about 6 inches made it different, but it's the same pitch, but you get 2 different results as far as the break of the ball. Watch the ball on the right versus the ball on the left. The ball on the left's got a more downward break to it. The ball on the right, when it goes towards home plate, more right to left. And that's just by dropping that arm slot. I tell you what, as a pitcher, when I can show you 2 different arm slots with the same pitch, it's money.
What about as a hitter? Is that something that you can pick up on or should pick up on?
Yes. I think I hear what Ben's saying from the standpoint of being able to manipulate the ball and make it do different things. But over time, especially as the lineup starts to talk to each other, you can pick those types of things up. If you see a drastically different release point from a pitcher on a breaking ball, you should start to know, hey, this ball's going to go more horizontal as opposed to top to bottom.
Austin Holman ignored that breaking ball. 2-2 now.
Where it really gets nasty is if he drops a little bit lower and throws a heater out of there. Now you got problems. Saw John Smoltz used to do that from time to time. Mess around and go 3/4.
Well, Smoltz used to do everything.
That's right. Yeah, he just wasn't fair.
He would make up pitches on the fly.
He was just better than everybody else.
Hall of Famer. 38 pitches now for Howard for the first 7 outs. Much better ball strike ratio for Howard than Kolick, who's been struggling with his command. Here's the payoff to Austin Holman. Popped him up. Elliot Barzilli in foul territory. 2 down. Take us back to the top of the order. Nick Chorby, who's already faced Brian Howard once, but struck out swinging, Ben.
Yeah, this is Brian Howard. Remember, this is 6'9" coming at you. Fastball's been 89 to 92, but plays a lot better. Pretty good balance. Watch how he keeps the front shoulder in there. The big 4-seamer comes right behind it. Got a little extra ride to it and gets an easy pop-up right there in the infield.
Here's Chorby. If Brian Howard needs any help, it might be learning how to tip his cap. Ben will break that down for him a little bit later in this one. First trip through the lineup, Howard has allowed just one hit. He has struck out 6. It's a 1-0 TCU lead. College World Series day number 4. Look at our bracket tonight at 7 o'clock. It'll be number 7 national seed Louisville, number 3 national seed Florida after a fantastic pitching performance by Alex Faedo. Brady Singer will take the ball for the Gators against Louisville. Florida State and LSU meet up in a clash of the Titans tomorrow night at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Brady Singer versus Cade McClure. Who's been throwing better most recently?
Well, it was a little rough for Singer down the stretch, but he has found his stride. He looked like the Brady Singer we've grown accustomed to last weekend against Wake Forest. But Cade McClure was outstanding against Kentucky in the Super Regional. I'll call it a toss-up.
Yeah.
I think Singer has better pure stuff, but McClure was awfully good against the Wildcats
Brady
last
Singer,
weekend.
man, I'm telling you, when he gets that two-seamer going, it's like Bugs Bunny stuff. He likes 92 to 94 with some sink, and he's got the slider going the other way.
If you can have success against Wake Forest, a team that has had more home runs, I think, than anyone else among Power 5 teams, that is going to fare pretty well against a Louisville team that's got some pop.
Yeah, I think Louisville can score in maybe a little more variety of ways. So I think they present some challenges, especially with the speed of Taylor and Lyman and Stores. But certainly Wake Forest is one of the most dominant, dangerous lineups in the country.
Ball and a strike to Ryan Merrill now. Pardon me, ball and 2 strikes to the Omaha native. Merrill played junior college ball across the river at Iowa Western out of Millard West High School, and he touches this one deep to right. The Omaha native has gone yard for TCU. Something you dream of growing up in Omaha, a home run in the College World Series.
And this was no fence scraper. This is a rocket, a cement mixer right down Broadway. And Merrill does an excellent job of getting the barrel behind that baseball and catching it right in the middle bottom third of that ball and launching it off the back wall of the bullpen on a week that's been pretty offensive. We've been waiting for some balls to get way out of here. The wind's blowing out, and that ball got way out of here, Benny Mac.
Yeah, I tell you, did you see Bedford? Bedford tapped the ground. He wanted that ball on the ground. That side had missed the spot, left it kind of right out over the plate. Well, it's always nice. You get a little production from your 9-hole guy. We talk about what separates teams when you get in the postseason play. What separates you? What separates you is if you get balanced throughout that lineup. You get a little production down at the bottom to quickly roll it to a very talented top of the lineup for TCU, and that's exactly what you got.
Most powerful TCU team since 2010 with their 58th home run. A lot of those belong to Lucan Baker, who's been out the last couple of weeks after a nasty elbow injury in a regular season game against Oklahoma. There's big Lucan Baker. Not only a power threat in the heart of that TCU lineup, but also a guy who knows how to get on base. He had a great World Series last year for the Horned Frogs. He is still trying to help turn into the biggest cheerleader maybe in Omaha, the sophomore from Spring, Texas. He also passed his bat off to Evan Scoud. To the right side, great glove work Coleman, and a toss to Kohler. 1 down. Mike Rooney, what do you got on Lucan Baker?
Yeah, guys, in that dugout, he's walking around kind of like a bouncer at a bar, and I'm waiting for him to check my ID. And the other thing, worst case scenario, he comes up to you for a high five because it's a violent action.
Yeah, he almost knocked Michael Landestoy on his backside last year after one of his home runs in the Big 12 tournament. He hit one of his home runs in Oklahoma City all the way out of the ballpark and off the hotel.
Yeah, that's a large human right there.
That's a big dude. I got to visit with him. I knew he was big, but when you get up on him and actually start, I mean, the size of the legs.
Yeah, it's a full-grown dude.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, those are pants. That's how tall he is. Yeah, it's a hot one. Good climb into the mid-90s today. Horned Frog fans will put up with it with a 2-0 lead here in the 3rd inning.
And awfully impressive what they've done despite losing him, because that one of the most talented offensive players in America.
Pull in, son!
And it's not just the home runs and the RBIs. You're talking about on-base percentage and the quality of at bat that he gives you throughout the ball game. And really it changes what the other dugout is doing throughout the whole course of the game. You take him out of the lineup and you still find yourself in Omaha.
And Humphreys is plunked. 5th base runner of the game for TCU. And it'll bring Evan Scoud to the plate.
They caught him on the back forearm there. On the right forearm. Yeah, you can see him start to shake that back
Well, you
forearm.
don't usually get hit there, do you?
No. Much better than the wrist, though.
So here's Scoud. Swinging Lucan Baker's bat, and it's got some juice. 20 home runs this season for Scoud. And he lines one into right center, first pitch. Humphreys on his way to third. Bill Mosiello's going to wave him home. Here comes the relay. It's late, and TCU has a 3-0 lead. There's the aggressive base running for TCU, and Baker's bat in the hands of Scoud gives him an RBI.
And I got to question the pitch selection right there. Looked like a hanging breaking ball after you blew him away with heaters. You get a hanging breaking ball out over the plate, and he rifles this ball into right center field. You dominate him last at bat with fastballs, and you come up and throw another hanging breaking ball. The last one got hit into the bullpen. This one gets hit in the right center gap, and it is all Horned Frogs right now.
Rob Childress is out of the A&M dugout. And they're going to scramble some arms down to the Texas A&M bullpen. They knew Scoud was a difference maker. All 7 of his hits in the postseason have gone for extra bases. That's his first. It hasn't been a home run.
And that goes back to our conversation yesterday, doesn't it? Like at some point, obviously he's not trying to throw a cement mixer up and out over the plate. But when you blew a dude away with heaters last time, is the thought on the pitching side that hey, maybe he's made an adjustment? He knows he got beat on a heater. We're going to try to spin one and steal strike one?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're talking about one of the best hitters in the country. And typically your better hitters make adjustments from at bat to at bat. And when you get to the big leagues, you'll see hitters make adjustments sometimes from pitch to pitch. But for a college hitter, I think he makes adjustments. So I got him out one way the last time. I would think as a pitching coach to the pitcher. Now, I blew 2 fastballs by him the last time. He's sitting fastball. He's not going to get beat on the fastball again. If I can dump strike one in there with that breaking ball, since he's sitting fastball, probably going to take that pitch. Didn't work out like that.
No, it did not.
But again, I mean, we sit here and talk about it all the time. Pitch selection. I don't question pitch selection again as much as I question pitch location. That breaking ball not in the center of the plate, little in or little out more, probably a ground ball out. You know, so you can throw the wrong pitch if it's placed well.
Here's Cam Warner, part of a strikeout throwout double play in the first inning. Well, going back to the pitch selection, even if it's not rolled over, even if it's not in there for a strike, let's say he takes it for ball one, can that still be an effective pitch against a guy who's been likely sitting fastball?
What I learned to do later in my career was if I gave up, say, a homer on a breaking ball, I would think most hitters go up there, even at the big league level, and they try to eliminate that pitch. And he won't throw me that again. So you know what I used to do? I'd come right back to the same pitch I gave up a homer the last time. And a lot of big league hitters just step out of the box like, I can't believe you just threw me that same pitch after I just hit it 400 feet. But that's just a regular old get me over breaking ball, kind of left center of the plate. And with a hitter like Scout, you got to be a little more finer with your stuff.
You do, but again, back to the pitch selection, you just gave up a bomb on it. And you're facing one of the best breaking ball hitters in the country, a guy that some people question whether he can get to a real heater, and we're already behind. Is that the best pitch to throw on the first pitch? I would say no.
Probably
I'd say you have more margin with a heater against Evan Scoud than you do an 83-mile-an-hour slider.
Could be.
The result is a double to the gap and great base running by Zach Humphreys. The score all the way from first base. It also looked, Berkey, like Chorby and Kopetsky had a hard time getting to that ball that got all the way to the fence between them.
Yeah, definitely could have been cleaner in the outfield.
It's been heartbreak in this series for Texas A&M against TCU. Each of the last 2 years, the Horned Frogs have ended their season. And when we met with the coaches earlier today, they insisted, and they've been saying now for a couple of days, that this rivalry takes a backseat to the fact that this is an elimination game, and it's being played in Omaha at the College World Series. I don't know if I bought any of that. I mean, you're meeting for the 260th time. They've ended your season each of the last 2. Behind the bag, Yoncha. Strong throw. 2 down. I think it adds some spice to this game, to this elimination game, without a doubt. But I don't think you overlook the fact. I mean, remember, these are 2 programs that battle over recruits. In fact, last year's SEC Player of the Year, Boomer White, was watching the game today in Portland. Hey, Boomer. Boomer White started his career at TCU and decided he would be willing to sit out a year of his college career to go play for Texas A&M.
And Walker Pennington was at TCU to start his career as well, the left fielder today for the Aggies. So there's definitely a lot of familiarity. And if you're an Aggie, there's got to be a little chip on your shoulder at this point. There has to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, last year, Texas A&M, just simply according to the NCAA seedings, was the better team. They had 13 players drafted. No other team in college baseball had as many drafted. And TCU comes into your house and sends you packing as they go to Omaha after the heartbreaking extra inning loss the year prior.
It'll be a tough pill to swallow if the team up the street ends your season 3 years in a row. I mean, if I'm an Aggie, if I'm in that Aggie dugout today, this is personal today.
I got a little extra for you.
It's I know it's an elimination game, and no matter who you're playing, you want to win, but this one's a little personal.
Nolan Brown doubled and scored in the second inning. 1-0 to him from Stephen Kolek. Already 60 pitches now for Kolek here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. A&M fell behind Louisville 5-0, tried to fight their way back in their first game here in Omaha this year, and ended up using 6 pitchers. Corbin Martin started. Brigham Hill, who has been their ace, came out of the bullpen for 59 pitches. Hill would be available today, although they'd rather not go to him. Sherrod, Chafin, Kilkenny, and Doxakis all through. Shoemake, the freshman, can't pick it up, and everybody's safe. Ball up the middle. Is this his only choice to go to the backhand?
Yeah, it was the right choice. He just didn't execute the play. As he gets to this ball, watch him put his foot in the ground and try to post up right there, and he just clanks the catch. I mean, you can't really point to anything fundamentally he did wrong. Maybe he could have gotten a little deeper into his legs, but sometimes that ball catches you in the heel and squeaks out on you.
Keep making pitches, call it. All right.
Aggies defense keeps their pitcher out on the field for more pressure-packed pitches.
Brian Howard now looking at a 3-0 lead. Doesn't seem to mind waiting through this. TCU trying to tack on a couple more. Runner goes from first, and it's sliced into right field. Scoug will jog home. Brown stopped at 3rd. And this is that strangling TCU offense. They keep their foot on the gas the entire time.
Free passes, poor execution with pitches, and air on the infield, and that spells a big inning as Barzilli with a backside bullet as the runner was in motion. Beautiful situation. Hey, watch the path right here. The ball is in, but the path is in to out. Watch the sweet spot work from inside the baseball through it, and just a nice piece of hitting right there by Barzilli as TCU continues to get it done with 2 outs.
Here's Connor Wanhanen. He is 0 for 1 with a ground out to short, and that's going to do it for Stephen Kolek. So starting pitching has left a lot to be desired for Texas A&M in each of their first 2 games here in Omaha. Taylor Chafin will come out of the bullpen for the 2nd time here in the College World Series, and Brian Howard's going to take a moment to try and stay warm for TCU. Well, a home run from TCU is just one of the big hits that they've put together thus far. Ryan Merrill, an Omaha native. High school about 15 miles west of TD Ameritrade. And Merrill out of Millard West. Really got the ball rolling for TCU, and they have chased Stephen Kolek right out of this game. And Merrill, 3 away from getting back to the plate. It was a leadoff home run here in the third. He was on the all-tournament team in 2016, so he's known some success in this ballpark before getting to TCU. He went to Iowa Western Community College, the Iowa Western Reavers. River Marauders. You remember that from earlier this season?
Yeah. The Reavers.
And he has been running roughshod on opponent pitching this year. So to the bullpen and Kaylor Chafin. Texas A&M put itself behind the 8 ball with some of their pitching decisions in game 1, and now they'll lean on Chafin, who's making his 33rd appearance of the season. Mets used their 32nd round pick on him last week. 66 strikeouts against 16 walks and an ERA of 2.5.
Yeah, strikeout to walk ratio very good. Fastball's a mid to upper 80s kind of fastball. Curveball and a changeup to go with it. Uses a spike curve, and that is his best pitch, his out pitch.
Ball.
It's a 4-0 lead for TCU, and their pitcher has looked untouchable through the first 3 innings. This is an awfully steep hill for A&M. Super Frog is wearing a camera on his forehead.
Ball.
The drama between these programs goes back a few. Super Frog knows. TCU also ended A&M's season in 2012 at the College Station Regional. So in the last 5 years, they've ended A&M's season at the regional, the Super Regional, and now trying to do it here in Omaha. I'm sure Rob Childress has seen enough purple in the postseason to last a lifetime. Chafin has appeared in all 7 NCAA games for Texas A&M this year, and he finds his first strike, 3-1. Ben, we might strap a GoPro to you.
Let's do it.
It's good enough for the mascot, good enough for you. You'd be looking out above everybody. You were in the stands last night watching that LSU-Oregon State game. What would we have seen from a camera on you last night?
It was ugly. I'm telling you, Oregon State just beat the brakes off LSU.
Well, which way would you have had the camera facing?
You know, if you're an LSU fan, you probably would have turned it around to maybe the beer vendors behind you after a while. You know, of course, you're an Oregon State guy. You'd have been zooming in on the action, because I tell you what, Oregon State, we knew they were the best team in the country, but boy, they showed up big time last night against LSU.
KJ Harrison with a grand slam. It was a dominating performance.
It really was. I don't know that I've ever been more impressed with a team on that kind of stage against that kind of opponent than I was Oregon State last night. And Fimmel was outstanding against an offense. I didn't think he could get through that offense 3 times. And he was on cruise control really the whole ball game.
Yeah, he mixed his pitches well. I mean, the fastball wasn't great, but he located. It seemed like he just was one step in front of LSU the entire time.
Bouncer to Shoemake. He handles this one. His error costly, though. It leads to the 4th run of the game for TCU. A 3-run frame. Long rest for Brian Howard. We'll see if Big Game Howie still has it as we head to the 4th.
Living that sweet life, ain't got nothing but a good time. Lit up like a July Christmas tree. Sure sounds pretty damn good to me. Yeah, going crazy as we want till we get a little back porch gone. Doing it up and doing it right. Loving, living that sweet life.
Another sweet life for Ryan Merrill, an Omaha native who goes yard in his hometown to extend the TCU advantage. We're at TD Ameritrade, and the headlines dominated by Oregon State. A 13-1 victory, their second 23-game win streak in the same season.
What?
Yes, twice. That would be akin to a big league team having a pair of 60-game win streaks.
That makes sense.
Mike Martin, number 11, got it done, and Florida State's still cranking, eliminating Cal State Fullerton yesterday.
Oregon State is definitely living that sweet life.
Crazy as they want. Cole Bedford at the plate.
56 out of 60.
Yeah, yes.
What in the world is going on? 56. This is just not the way this game was set up.
Should Oregon State win the whole thing, they'll have the highest winning percentage of any national champion in the history of this sport. Scow trying to fight the sun, called off by his first baseman, and Connor Wanhanen helps him out. Brian Howard's allowed just one hit through 3 1/3. That was a first pitch double to Braden Shoemake, who's striding back to the plate.
Yeah, you see him 75% strikes. That is the key. That's where it's all begun. He's got ahead of Texas A&M hitters, and he's been able to throw that breaking ball. 5 of his 6 punch-outs with the breaking ball, and it's been really good. He's shown you a couple different arm angles, so he's getting some different kind of tilt to it as well.
I love that last bullet point. He's been working quickly, and I know his fielders certainly appreciate that.
And that's a point of emphasis with Kirk Sarlos and his pitching staff. He wants them to get the ball and throw it and keep the rhythm going from inning to inning.
And when you got the stuff that he does today and the command's good, that's when, of course, it's easy. You're working fast. You're going. You're moving. It's when guys start to get on base, you start to question, I don't know if I want to throw a fastball. I'm really thinking, and all of a sudden we're stepping off the back.
How about the job he's done? 5th season, 4 trips to Omaha, the recruiting coordinator and the pitching coach, which is not something we see a ton, the pitching coach being the recruiting coordinator, but Ben, he's brought in some serious superstars in his time in Fort Worth, and they just keep the train rolling.
Yeah. You got to develop your guys. I mean, you got to find a way, because if you look at the guy right now, you know, who didn't pitch a whole lot. He didn't pitch a whole lot at all his first 2 years, but the last 2 years he's been developing, been working, and all of a sudden he's one of the top pitchers in the college game. Goodness.
Well, everything's working for Brian Howard. He's now strutting his way around the mound. 5 strikeouts, it seems, or pardon me, 7. The only thing he hasn't been able to do is learn how to tip his cap. This was in his final start at Lupton, Fort Worth Super Regional, and when Jim Schlossnagle came to visit him, he said, I want you to leave the game, and when you do, you're going to tip your cap. Well, he wasn't really sure how to do it. How's this for a cap tip?
Yeah. I don't know if that was a dance. I don't know what that was, but that's not how you do it. First of all, when I've dominated, I'm going to walk slowly off the bump, and I'm going to take it all in, and I'm going to milk that applause. And I want you, Berkey, on your feet, screaming and hollering for me. And maybe just before I get to the dugout, it'll be a little tip of the hat at the end.
All right, so walk us through it. This is a clinic from Ben McDonald. There is a way to tip your cap when you're leaving the mound.
Yeah, so I got my hat on, you know, and I'm a little bit upset.
It looks good on you.
Yeah, I'm a little bit upset because I got taken out of the game. So I'm kind of walking with my head down a little bit.
Wait a second, you're upset. You just dominated in the
postseason.
Yeah,
but I wanted to finish. You know,
okay.
I want to finish what I start. So I'm a little upset you took me out of the game, but I'm going to act like I'm really not, but I kind of am. Right. So I'm going to ease off the mound, you know, I'm going to let the crowd, I want you on your feet, I want everybody screaming, hollering, and I'm just going to kind of milk it real slow, kind of Rick Sutcliffe. And just before I get the dugout, a little tip of the cap, you know, a little smile, a little grin, and then back on in the dugout I go.
Now, let me ask you, is there varying degrees? Like if you thought you were really good, are we off the head looking up? Whereas if you just thought you were pretty good, you leave it on, but just kind of touch the bill of the cap?
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to milk it. If I thought I was really good that day, I'm taking it all the way off. I might even wave it.
Okay.
I might even wave it a little bit.
But if it was just like a quality start?
If I go 6 innings and I give up 3 earned runs, I was okay, and I get a little applause. It's just kind of a little tip of the cap. It might even come off the head.
Yeah.
You know.
I like that.
Funny, the purple looks natural on you.
Me and purple have gotten along over the years.
Mm-hmm. I think it's great anytime you can show off your flat top. That means you had a great outing, right?
That's right.
But they only get that for shut piece.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
2-strike line drive off the bat of Hunter Coleman, and he's aboard with 2 outs. I mean, you're not tipping your cap off of just a random quality start.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe in the postseason you've got a chance to win, but you've got to earn it.
Those big tips. You're going 7, 8 innings, 8 1/3, something like that.
You couldn't get Andy Pettit to take it off his head. It was just a brief little tip. And this kid's animated now.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, though. You can't put him in your box because this kid's outside the box now. So a tip of the cap for him is I don't even know if he's controlled enough to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's a little high strung. Like, I got to slow him down a little bit.
That wasn't a cap tip. That was him riding the bull.
Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that was more of a rodeo move.
Yeah.
Blake Kopetsky at the plate for Texas A&M, down 4, and Kopetsky pops it up to left. Josh Watson going to close the inning. 2 hits allowed by Brian Howard through 4. He has struck out 7, and he is sprinting off the field. He beat everybody off the field and back in the dugout. May have been in the dugout before the ball was even caught. Elimination game between TCU and Texas A&M. All Horned Frogs early, but a developing situation for big game Howie. Ryan Howard has a blister that popped up a couple of weeks ago for TCU and then reappeared during his bullpen session this week to get ready for this start, and seemingly that blister is the only thing that could possibly slow him down today. Ben, the odd part about the blister for Brian Howard is that it's on his thumb.
Yeah, typically you're going to get the blisters on your middle finger because that's the one the ball stays on the longest as it comes off. But I will say this, with the newer seam baseballs, with the lower seam baseball, typically you won't get as many blisters, but he's offsetting that slider. He's offsetting that slider a little bit, and so you can see the way he's holding it, probably that seam is kind of getting off on the thumb, and he's getting a little bit of a blister the way the breaking ball comes off the thumb.
To the right side, pass a diving Shoemake, and Josh Watson has a leadoff single. So how do you handle it from a pitching perspective? How do you deal with a blister?
Well, there's a few different ways. I mean, you hear the pickle juice trying to toughen up your skin. I mean, you want to get a callus is what you want to have, but you got to file that callus down. If you let that callus get really thick and big, what you'll get is a blood blister underneath it, and that's when you start getting in trouble. Then you got to drain it, and it all peels off. So I got to almost manicure my hands a little bit to where I want my calluses in the right place as a pitcher, but I want to keep them just right. So I learned to file them down a little bit in the big leagues because you had to. Because if you let that big old callus get there, I promise you were going to get one. And then there was always a way that you could.
Runner goes. And Watson in with his 6th stolen base of the season.
One year in the big leagues, I had to pitch 32 starts with a blister on my middle finger because, if you're going every 5 days, a blister doesn't have time to heal up, and you don't have time to get a callus on there. So we had to take stereo strips and go around my middle finger every start the entire season of 1 year, and we take a little bit of a pine tar to kind of hide the color because obviously it was illegal to do, but it was the only way I could get out on the mound and pitch. And so they would only last about 15 pitches. If I had a long inning, those Band-Aids would come off, and I'd be out there bare for a while, then have to come back in and reapply.
Ryan Merrill lifts one to right field. Coming around is Kopetsky for the catch, and Watson's going to tag from second to third. He is out at the bag. It's a second out. TCU has made it third base in this game.
Well, what a nice relay right there by the Aggies. Kopetsky showing you some real arm strength and accuracy. You see a bullet here in the right field. Kopetsky gets behind the baseball, charges, and throws a rocket to Holman, who digs it and throws a strike to Yancha. I'm still not crazy about the tag here. Ooh, that one was really close. But a nice relay right there by the Aggies.
It's a 5th runner TCU has had thrown out in a game and a half here in the College World Series. Back to the top of the order, and Austin Wade, who is 0 for 1. So the bottom line with Howard, we'll keep a close eye on it when he comes back to the mound, but there's really very little you can do to manage a blister within the game. You just have to try and get through it.
You got to try to get through it. And, of course, if it gets too bad, you got to come out of the game. Unless you can find a way to take those strips and go over the top of it and hide it where you can protect it a little bit.
He doesn't look real concerned about it. I mean, you see there he's got his hands together. You would think if it was really an issue, he'd have it off to the side.
Oh, they'd be down in the tunnel doing something to it.
He looks pretty comfortable right now.
I mean, some guys would take super glue and kind of go over the top of it with super glue to kind of give you a layer of protection there.
1-2 pitch to Wade is low and away.
It's obviously not affecting his ability to manipulate the ball.
I think that was a little bit of a check more than it was. Hey, I got a problem. Hey, let me check on you and see how bad your problem's getting.
Howard's allowed 2 hits through 4 shutout innings. A&M already in its bullpen with Kaylor Chafin striking out Austin Wade to end it. Well, the base running giveth and taketh away. A&M comes up with 2 outs at third base to keep it a 4-run deficit. Rob Childers will talk with Mike Rooney when we return.
Welcome back to Omaha with Texas A&M skipper Rob Childress. And Rob, that TCU offense puts a lot of pressure on you. What did you see from your starter, Stephen Kolek?
Well, he's nibbling a little bit early, and we were able to get out of the first inning and made some great pitches. Bedford made a great play and then had him down in the count, 0-1, 1-2, and they did a great job on some pitches not well located.
Brian Howard really on a roll right now. What can you do to slow him down?
Well, when we get a fastball, we can't miss it. I mean, he's so good and throwing downhill, breaking balls really good, and we're only going to have so many chances. We got to make the most of them.
Thanks, Rob.
Thanks.
All right, Runes, thanks. Hot one out there. Don't forget your sunscreen, buddy. Brian Howard's hot. 2 hits allowed through 4.
To me, at this point in time, you got a young man on the mound that is feeling awfully good about himself, right? So the thought of we're just going to try to hit the fastball that he throws us, I don't know if that's going to get it done right now. To me, I'm going to try to crowd him if I'm a left-hander and take away that breaking ball, make him feel nervous that he's going to hit me with it, right? And if I'm a right-hander, I'm going to get my toes on the white line, and I'm going to try to take away the outside part of the plate.
We may have a rally squirrel situation.
Yeah, like you're going to catch that thing. Yeah, good luck. Bring your lunch pail. Yeah, I'm just going right there. I'm just going, and let me just tell this guy something right now. He don't want to catch that thing because that thing's got some teeth. If he does catch it, he'll go and wish like heck he didn't catch it.
If you want someone to catch it, I'd ask Brigham Hill. Yeah. Texas A&M starting pitcher. He's a great hunter. He eats squirrel soup.
Yeah, he's right up my alley. Me and Brigham could hang out for a little bit.
Are we really going to keep a squirrel from letting us play?
I think we're okay here, fellas.
If this were Louisville, they'd just say we're going to play it where the squirrel drops it.
Interesting.
We got our man on the field, Mike Rooney. Maybe he could set a trap or two. How would you tell him to try and get it?
Runes, you got to get it in a trap. Don't try to catch it with your hands, I promise you.
So 2 hands, Ben, or 1 hand? Or how do I pick them out, or what? I mean,
let me just tell you, if you grab it with 2 hands, you'll be missing a digit when he's finished with you. You don't want to grab this thing.
I'm gonna actually pass then. Thanks, though.
Use a trap.
What does squirrel taste like?
Chicken.
I feel like that's the answer for everything that might be a little bit odd.
It's a little bit of a wild taste, but it's not bad.
That must be a lot of work to get a squirrel cleaned.
To clean a squirrel is very difficult. It really is I would rather clean a deer than a squirrel.
Walker Pennington started his college career at TCU. Well, you're getting more out of it when you clean a deer, right?
Sure.
I mean, that's a lot of work for not much.
No, I agree. It's like killing like a bird, to eat a quail or a dove or something. It's a lot of work, for not a lot of meat.
How do you prefer to take your squirrel, in a soup or a stew?
A stew. Fried down with some onions, a little gravy, and serve it over rice. Pretty good.
I'm pretty hungry. I don't know if I'm that hungry.
I'll pass.
Ump cam in effect. The 1-2 is waved at, and strike 3 swinging for Walker Pennington. 8th K for Brian Howard. For more coverage of the College World Series, including interactive bracket and highlights, go to NCAA.com. Approach for A&M.
Well, we got 2 choices. We're going to sit here and keep taking it on the chin, or we're going to try to make this dude feel uncomfortable. Right there, Walker Pennington, 3 to 5 inches off that white line. Has Brian Howard shown us 1 heater in yet?
No.
Okay, so he has not thrown a heater into a right-hander, right? The right-handed hitters in this A&M lineup have got to do something different. You got a man out there in a serious rhythm and a serious groove. We can't just sit here and keep taking it.
And I see where A&M's confused a little bit, because the scout report was glove side was the better fastball side, which meaning inside the lefties away. But we've not seen that much today, so you got to make that adjustment a little bit sooner, I think, because we're not seeing many fastballs in by Howard to the left-handed.
But the righties, it's all away.
Yeah, righties are all away.
Howard has had great success against Texas A&M in his career, now working on 13 1/3 innings pitched, only 5 hits allowed, and he's yet to allow a run. He has now struck out 20 to just 3 walks in his career against A&M.
Big Game Howie's just got it on cruise control. Take a look at this. Little cutter down for strike 3. There's the bigger breaking ball. So 2 different breaking balls. And then he can drop down and make it move left or right. He's elevated a few fastballs up in the zone. But the cutter has been the pitch and the location more than anything. Look where these balls are located. Hardly anything in the middle of the plate at all. I mean, he has been just spot on pretty much with every pitch. And now you see him start to elevate the fastball like he did against Joel Davis right there. See Scout warmed it up in the zone. I mean, he just peppered it. I mean, this is a clinic today by a big game pitcher.
Yancha 0 for 1 of the ground out to short. How close do you want George Yancha to the plate?
Put your toes on the white line. At this point, you have enough information that says he has no intention of ever throwing the ball inside. So to me, I know that might not be your normal place, but here again, you're fighting for your life.
Into right field. And into the glove of Austin Wade. It's a 1-2-3 frame. Brian Howard takes about 2.5 strides to get from the field to the dugout. And TCU a step closer.
Welcome back to Omaha with TCU skipper Jim Schlossnagle, and Brian Howard has the reputation Big Game Howie, but this is crazy. What are you seeing from your arm here?
Well, I mean, he's filling up the strike zone. He got his cutter going pretty good. It's actually, I think it looks like it's playing more like a slider than it is necessarily a cutter, and he just got to get him swinging, and they like to swing early in the count.
Ryan Merrill, hometown kid, hits a home run. How awesome is that to see that?
Man, it's awesome. You know, he's a 15th round pick out of a great junior college program here, Iowa Western, and thought we were going to lose him, but he stayed, and I think one of the reasons is to have the opportunity to do this.
Thanks, Schloss.
All right, thanks, Rins.
Great day for Ryan Merrill. Solo home run in the 3rd. Brian Howard is from St. Louis. Pretty good game for him, too. 9 Ks over 5 innings.
Hold up, son! Too far, Cole.
Ryan Merrill was offered a chance to walk on at Nebraska. No scholarship for him. Then TCU came calling after a couple of years of JUCO ball, where he won a Gold Glove and helped Iowa Western to a national championship. His dad Kevin played college ball in Nebraska, and his sister Megan played soccer there. Zach Humphreys sends this one into the seats, foul. Can you imagine? I mean, Berkey, you hit a home run in this event inside the Parker over at Rosenblatt Stadium, and I know it was a dream of yours to play in the College World Series, but to grow up in Omaha, to come to these games as a young kid, to drive by the ballpark with all your family and friends in the stands watching.
Yeah, and you know, first of all, to get here back-to-back years and then to go deep against one of your rivals, definitely a moment he'll hold on to forever.
To short. Holman dropped to a knee. 1 down. And Evan Scoug to the plate. Scoug with a double in the first pitch he saw in the 3rd inning on a breaking ball from Stephen Kolek. He struck out on fastballs in the 1st from Kolek. Ben Scoug's got some body armor.
Plenty of it.
How do you feel about that?
I don't think they ought to be allowed to wear it. I think we can speed up the game if they don't. I know my man Berkey doesn't believe me.
Well, I was not a body armor guy, but we're going to speed up the game?
Yeah. We can tell you how.
There's no hit by pitches?
No. If you get hit enough times on your elbow, you're going to start getting out of the way more. That thing will swell up the size of a grapefruit. You're going to think twice about hanging in there. Less base runners, less runs scored. Game speeds up.
How about Cole Bedford? Looks like he's on skates back there.
Yeah, went for a little bit of a slide on that one. Look, he's got a nice, good attitude about it. He's getting over to block this pitch and gets on his shin guards. He gone.
Heath Jones up cam. Scout yanks one foul. Rooney, what's your take on the armor?
I'll just say this, guys. Coaching first base has never been more complicated in the history of the game of baseball. I mean, you got to be able to juggle about 17 pieces of apparatus over there.
Would that be apparati?
That works for me.
Okay.
The Latin.
End up having to take a shopping bag or a duffel bag out there. Zach Etheridge, volunteer assistant in his 4th season on the staff, the first base coach for TCU.
Ball deal.
It gets more difficult, Runes, if you're in the third base dugout, because here you can, you know, if you're in the first base dugout, you can just hand it off. But Etheridge is going to be in a situation where Scout reaches, he's just going to have to start strapping it on. He's going to look like a hockey player for more guys reach base. Not a concern here on the strikeout for Scout. And that'll bring Cam Warner to the plate. We call it the 6 with Michael Smith and Jamel Hill. It's sports, music, movies, and more with style and personality. Join them weeknights at 6 Eastern on Sports Center. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. You might be talking about Big Game Howie today, huh?
A lot to talk about.
He's been good. Taylor Chafin, though, I mean, I think he's the most important player for A&M right now. He's got to keep putting up zeros to get this A&M offense an opportunity to come back.
1-2-3 framework by Chafin. He is retired 5 in a row now. We go to the 6th. Aggies trying to find some offense against the big right-hander for TCU.
Good throw. Got him.
That dugout is energized right now.
Another College World Series MLB doubleheader tonight, 7 o'clock. 3-seed Florida, 7-seed Louisville, followed by the Mets and Dodgers in the nightcap. Both games also live on the ESPN app. Cody Bollinger, he's got 2 home runs in that win last night. He has tied Mike Piazza for the 5th multi-home run game for a Dodgers rookie. Piazza didn't get his 5th until October of his first year. Pretty good start, and a soft line drive over the glove of Ryan Merrill. So 2 of the 3 hits against Brian Howard have come swinging on the first pitch. Leadoff man on for the first time. We got Louisville and Florida. Later tonight, this is a Florida team that's got a deep pitching staff.
Yeah, they do, and I think there's enough offense there for them. You know, I mean, they're not going to blow it up a lot of times. Although the second half of the season they swung it much better than they did the first half of the season. But because of the defense and because of a deep, talented pitching staff, it seems like they're always in a ball game and can find a way to win most any game.
They have won so many one-run games. They know exactly who they are and what their formula to win is.
When your defense is that good and your pitching is that good, you can win a lot of those ball games. But I tell you what, if I saw Louisville that day, we saw them for the first time, I'm impressed. I mean, they can beat you so many ways. There's the speed, there's the power, there's some guys in that lineup that can really swing. And, of course, the bullpen's really good.
They had a 5-run second inning to take control in their game against Texas A&M, and all of their 6 hits that frame were singles.
And going back to that Louisville game, it was about this time where it felt like the Cards had the Aggies on cruise control. And if you remember, the Aggies made a heck of a run. And right now, the top of the 6 with the top of the order back up and the leadoff runner on, I feel like if the Aggies are going to get back in this ball game, it better start right now.
I feel like there's a run in them. I mean, I think they are. I mean, we know Howard, how good he's been. But at some point in time as a pitcher, even though I cruise along, there's always a couple points in that ball game where it can start to swing a little bit.
Well, being aggressive early is one thing that's worked for Texas A&M. All 3 of their hits have come on the first pitch. And Howard has delivered 17 of 19 first pitch strikes for his pitching coach, Kirk Sarlos.
You got Chorby, who's been red hot. Shoemake up in a couple. The time is now for the Aggies. They got to make this thing a ball game here.
Yeah, you wonder, as the Aggies start to go through the lineup for the third time, will there be some adjustments made? Once you start to see the breaking balls, you see them once or twice. Now, this is a kid they've been pretty familiar with, though. They've seen him before. Sure. So that's what struck me as him being that dominant early. But again, a lot of the Aggies that are playing now haven't played much the last couple of years. This is a new bunch, a team that lost 13, or had 13 players drafted last year. So a lot of these kids may not have had a whole lot of at-bats off of Howard last year.
Third career appearance for Brian Howard against Texas A&M. He's thrown 14 innings across those 3 appearances, 2 starts and 1 out of the pen, with 20 strikeouts against only 3 walks and 6 hits. And they say he went. What do you got there, Berkey?
Wow, just you felt like Chorby was really in that at bat. And on a breaking ball that's maybe one of the worst we've seen all day long, Chorby really late decides to pull the trigger and just can't hold the barrel back.
And the reason why you see that is because all game long, Howard has filled up the strike zone with that breaking ball. So as a hitter, you get so used to being strike 1, strike 2, and he's flipping that breaking ball, and everybody keeps coming back to the dugout, striking out on the breaking ball. It makes you think, even when you see it, it's coming down, and he started swinging and just couldn't hold it up.
Brian Howard struck out 11 last time out. His career high is 12. And he's got double-digit strikeouts again today as he faces Cole Bedford. And another first pitch strike.
Rob Childress wanted him hunting the fastball. He wanted them to take advantage when they get their opportunities, and Cole Bedford missed one right there.
Oh, 1 pitch from Howard coming.
So if I'm an Aggie base runner and I see Evan Scoug hop inside, I know it's a pick.
Yeah, because he hadn't thrown the fastball inside the right hand, right?
So for Evan Scoug to hop inside right there, especially early, you know for a fact that that's not the pitch they're throwing. He hasn't thrown one intentionally the whole game inside. And if I was Evan Scoug, I would watch that move because that was such an obvious kind of deke that he was setting up, that it was so obvious that you knew it was a pick. Going right back away.
Oh, well.
I like this pitch right here. A really good four-seamer right on that outside edge. And
I mean, that's enough plate to call a strike. I guess it was called low, but I mean, it's not.
If you're an Aggie fan, you're feeling pretty good about that one. There are not a lot of things that have gone your way in this ball game. Take anything you can get at this point. That looked like a pretty good pitch right there.
Heath Jones, the home plate umpire, had it out. Tomahawk down the third base line, heading to second base is Holman. Now he'll advance to third off the carom, and the Aggies have 2 on, both in scoring position with 1 out.
And here you go, top of the order for the Aggies. Give the home folks something to cheer about, boys. A hanging breaking ball up and out over the plate, and Becker comes right over the top of it and rips it down the third baseline. And you just feel like if the Aggies are going to make a run, it's got to be right here. And now their most talented hitter comes up with a chance to get them right back in the ball game.
It's Braden Shoemaker, who swung at the first pitch in the first inning for a double to left. 2 aboard in front of him. And they say he committed to the breaking ball on a check swing. And Will Bolt, the third base coach for the Aggies, wants to take a moment to chat with Braden Shoemaker. Mike Rooney, what do you got on this?
You know, guys, this is why Will Bolt's going to be a great head coach, because he sees his talented freshman was a little shook up in game 1 and it really hardened himself, and you see the reaction to that call right there. He's too talented to be that way, so you got to get him reset. To Berkey's point, you need him badly right now.
And this is the moment in the game when you need him. Scoring opportunity with 1 down, trailing by 4. Brian Howard's got him right where he wants him. 2 check swing strikes. The last 2 batters faced.
Yeah, one with the big breaking ball for strike 1. That was a little harder, tighter. What he calls his cutter for strike 2. Lots of options here.
To the breaking ball again. It will bring a runner home. And Shoemake with an RBI ground out to score Austin Holman.
Boy, and I'm not crazy about that pitch selection right there. And obviously, Howard's not trying to flip a get-me-over breaking ball in there with 2 strikes. But on an 0-2 count, after you've made him swing and miss at 2 breaking balls, I think you maybe have an opportunity to throw one by him. You've slowed him down a couple times in a row. But the big flip breaking ball turns into just an easy RBI. Look at this big, soft breaking ball on an 0-2 count. And Howard frustrated. That turns out to be an easy RBI by Shoemake.
Yeah, with 2 strikes, 0-2, 1-2 count, that ball's got to be bounced. It's got. If you're going to throw the pitch, again, I don't have a problem with the selection. I have a problem with the location of it. In 2 strikes, I want to see that ball bounce on top of home plate.
Hunter Coleman looks at a breaking ball for his strike. 0-1 to the Aggie first baseman and batting in the cleanup spot. Rally pickles are out, or at least one of them, and it's a little nub of a pickle. That'd be about out.
See, that's the pitch he wanted to throw right there to Shoemake. He wanted to bounce that breaking ball in the dirt. And he's been having success coming up in the zone with changing the eye level. He's got 2 strikeouts on what we call the 5 pitch or the high fastball. It's your best 4-seam fastball, just about chest high, right out over the plate.
Scoug wants it low. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Whoa.
A little change of pace right there from Sarlos. He 0-2 fastball as opposed to the 0-2 breaking ball that he threw to Shoemake. Now that one was not as it was designed either. That one's too big of a miss to even be competitive.
Right. That was a non-competitive pitch. This one's down, and that's a good one. Down and off the plate.
22 strikeouts in the last 2 starts for Brian Howard. He's got 11 Ks today. He's a big game pitcher.
Yeah, he struggled a little bit that inning, got some guys on base, gave up 1 run, but in the end, he's got 11 big punch outs, and the Horned Frogs up 4-1 going to the bottom of the 6th.
Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series presented by Capital One. Gorgeous day in Omaha. Going to be a hot one before all is said and done today. Louisville and Florida go at it tonight, 7 o'clock in a winner's bracket game. Oregon State's 2-0 on the other side. They'll be back on the field Friday afternoon. It'll be Florida State and LSU, and Mike Martin said it'll either be Cole Sands or Andrew Karp getting the start for the Seminoles. The frog repellent hasn't really worked thus far for Texas A&M. They need some Brian Howard repellent. The biggest of the frogs has struck out 11. TCU has won 5 out of the last 7, including season-ending wins in super regional action in Fort Worth in 2015 in extras and in College Station in 2016. Guys, how about the job Kaylor Chafin has done for Texas A&M?
He has done exactly what he's needed to do. Start stacking up some zeros. A&M came back the other day, and they're quite capable of putting some runs on the board. But the only way they're going to obviously make that comeback is Kaylor Chafin continues to put up those zeros.
Nolan Brown leads off the 6th for TCU.
Hey guys, Coach Mosiello's even coaching me up. He came up to me in the dugout and said, "Hey Rune, stay hydrated. If you're thirsty, it's too late."
I like it.
Does a little bit of everything. Runs the offense for TCU, coaches third, and keeping our eye on Mike Rooney. Low and in, 2-0.
You know, it's got a little bit of a feel. We referenced the Louisville game earlier, but Brigham Hill came in, threw up zeros. The offense got back into it. Kaylor Chafin doing a very nice job out of the bullpen himself.
The decision to go with Corbin Martin instead of Brigham Hill obviously cost Texas A&M. Martin gave up 5 runs in an inning and 2/3. But it wasn't a decision that Texas A&M came upon lightly. Going back to their Super Regional win against Davidson is when they made the plan. Shoemake extension. One down. But that really put him behind the 8 ball in terms of pitching this week. And as a result, now with Kolek unable to get very deep in this one, behind the 8 ball again. Hindsight, it obviously is 2020, but you were questioning that call during the game because Brigham Hill's been your ace. I got the feeling, though, that A&M was thinking, you know, he might be our ace, but he hasn't thrown as well late in the season as he was middle of the season.
Yes. You almost got the feeling they believed at this day and time, even though over the course of the season, no doubt Brigham Hill was their ace. They felt game one that Corbin Martin had been their best starting pitcher of late, and that's where they went. Just turns out that Brigham Hill showed up in a big way, and after the game, I love how Rob Childress was not afraid to say, yeah, if I had to do it all over again, I'd start Brigham Hill if I knew he was going to pitch like that. Love it when a head coach stands up and takes the bullets.
Well, regardless of who was most effective on the mound, those are 3 big league mustaches.
Well, that's hard to argue there.
Martin, Hill, and Childress. A&M decided to grow it out for the postseason. And they look fresh out of Tombstone or pick your Western. Elliot Barzilli is 1 for 2 with an RBI single. And muscles this one into left field, sinking for Pennington, drops in front of him. Second hit of the game for Elliot Barzilli. Barzilli was 0 for 4 in TCU's first game.
So how do I get the barrel to a ball that's in on my hands? You got to get the body out of the way. So look how rotated that upper body is. You got to get the body out of the way, keep the hands connected to the body. And while he didn't sweet spot that ball, kept the barrel square enough to dump it into left field. Nice job by Barzilli there, getting the bat to that pitch.
Pull up.
Connor Wanhanen is 0 for 2, an RBI ground out for him in the second inning. Barzilli 4 for 6 in the base paths this season. How aggressive do you expect TCU to be on the base paths at this point in the game?
Very aggressive. I mean, that's what they do. And especially with a lead like they have, you expect them to be even more aggressive.
They're going to keep stepping on the gas. It's still plenty of ball game left. Again, an A&M team that's shown you that they'll come back. The equation changes a little bit with a lefty on the mound. That always makes it a little more difficult.
Bedford thought about throwing behind the runner and chased Barzilli back.
I mean, TCU, a team that came in with 102 stolen bases into this College World Series. Number 1 out of all the 8 teams that showed up here in Omaha. That is a big part of their game.
With Jake Mulholland from Oregon State and Kaylor Chafin from Texas A&M, they come in, they make it look awfully easy, don't they? Lefties that just control the breaking ball, change speeds enough to keep you off balance. A couple really good college left-handed relievers.
And what is it about left-handers? I mean, they just kind of come in and just flip a breaking ball over, spot the fastball here and there, and you look up and they got 8 or 9 outs in a row. You know, it's been going on forever. And you know, if you're left-handed and you can throw strikes and spin a breaking ball, maybe got a little change-up, dude, you can get guys out at any level. It seems like.
Oh, that's nothing.
Nice block by Bedford, 2-2. That's a fundamental difference between lefties and righties. How about the mental difference? I mean, they have the reputation, you know.
Yes. They're always usually a little different breed.
Yeah, got the hats on a little bit. You know, they think the hat's on straight, but it's really not. Like it's at a 45, but they'll argue with you and tell you it's on straight. they just get guys out.
Back right here, big boy.
The hat looks pretty straight to me.
Yeah, that's pretty straight for a lefty.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not straight, but for a lefty, it's pretty straight.
Got to grade it on a curve because he's a southpaw?
Yes.
Okay.
Tilts a little bit towards the glove there, but
Not like every putt breaks towards the water. Every lefty's cap is going to be tilted towards the glove side.
usually, yeah, breaks glove side. You see that one's better than most.
That one through the right side. Off and running is Barzilli, and he'll stop at second. Remember, TCU has run into 2 outs at third. One on a great throw from Kopetsky in right. So 2 aboard with 1 out, and Josh Watson coming up. You surprised they weren't a little bit more aggressive with Barzilli there?
I think that's respect for Kopetsky's arm. And the infield's really fast right now. That ball got to the outfielder quicker than usual. I think it's a wise play. He already showed you once the ability to get the ball back in and hurry.
Yeah, the balls seem to be getting through the infield a little bit. On the practice day we had before it started on Friday, we watched them take batting practice, talked to a few of the middle infielders, say the ball, the track's really slow. But I think they shaved the grass down, maybe cut it down a little bit more because the ball really seems to be getting through the infield more than what I thought it would.
Much hotter today than it was during the practice day where they kept the dirt water. The dirt seemed a lot softer that day. And especially the southern schools noticed that with the grass difference.
Right. Yeah. And you've seen a couple base hits so far in here in the College World Series. Hit right in front of home plate and bound all the way over the first baseman's head.
Dirt's hard.
Or all the way over the top of the third baseman's head.
Into center. 2 down. So good, bad, indifferent. What kind of dirt would you rather play on?
I want the grass to be fast and the dirt to be soft. Right? I want to play deep because I want angles, but I don't want lightning fast dirt where the ball's bounding and taking unusually high hops and where it's so fast that your range is limited. But I don't want the ball dying as it hits the grass either because that forces you to play more shallow because you want to make sure that you're getting to the ball in the right amount of time. So for me, I'd like the grass to be fast and the dirt to be soft.
I kind of like as a pitcher for the grass to be high and the fences to be deep. You know, if I could have it in a perfect world,
Inside for a strike to Ryan Merrill.
Used to argue with Cal Ripken Jr. all the time. He was always on the grounds crew guy by keeping the grass cut short at Camden Yards. I was like, come on, dude. It's 364 to the left center field gap at a big league ballpark. I think y'all have enough of advantage. Let's at least make the infield a little thick if I can get me a ground ball.
Dan Blank is the head groundskeeper here at TD Ameritrade Park. He and his staff have done a tremendous job this week, as they always do, keeping the field in great shape, which is no easy task with 2 games a day in this summer weather.
Beautiful surface.
It's a big league ballpark in just about every way. Ball and 2 strikes to Ryan Merrill. Merrill won the game for TCU in their game against Texas A&M in May with a walk-off double in the 15th inning. Hurt him with the home run here in the 3rd. And chases one inside. Strikeout for Caleb Chapin, works his way around a couple of singles in the 6th inning and 2 stranded for TCU. It's a 3-run game. Meanwhile, the Cardinals have arrived. Louisville waiting to take on number 3 national seed Florida. 7 o'clock on ESPN, and a big-time showdown between the Cardinals and the Gators.
Few sporting events are as ingrained into their communities as the College World Series is with Omaha. For many, that means a visit to the Omaha Children's Hospital and Medical Center. The official story is that the best players in college baseball are stopping by to inspire the kids. The reality is that more often than not, it works out the other way around.
images of years past, and that's where Texas A&M spent their off day yesterday. Children's Hospital. And Chris Burke, when you played here with Tennessee, that was a visit that you guys made.
Yeah, it was a special, special memory to see the look on those kids that think that you could bring joy to some kids that are in a tough spot. It was one of my favorite parts about being here in Omaha.
Here's Blake Kopetsky. Michael Landestoy has entered the game for TCU over at first base. Oh, that was a big swing. $11 strikeouts, one away from his career high.
All outside.
Hadn't seen many of those change up. That's the old circle change. Kind of runs down and away from the left-handed hitters. It was 81 miles an hour. It's a good mix between the fastball and changeup. Fastball's been 88 to 92. Changeup at 81.
Good jump by Nolan Brown. Kopetsky retired. Howard has only been in trouble, if you want to call it that, once. That was last inning when he allowed 2 base runners with 1 down, but then he got an RBI ground out and his 11th strikeout.
It's tough for Texas A&M once you get past Kopetsky. 3 of the next 4 hitters right-handed, and boy, I tell you, Howard just looks so comfortable against right-handed hitters right now. It's just a tough spot for the Aggies to manufacture any offense.
Walker Pennington started his college career at TCU. Played a season and a half there, was part of a log jam in the outfield. And at one point, decided to give up the game. He's just going to stick around at TCU as a regular student. Had a meeting with Jim Schlossnagle alluding to that. Schlossnagle wished him his best, and then a few weeks later learned that he decided to go the junior college route. San Jacinto, long storied history at San Jac, great baseball program. Some guy by the name of Roger Clemens pitched there.
Andy Pettit, Wayne Graham coach there.
Legendary Rice coach and Hall of Famer.
Schiraldi.
Strikeout number 12 for Brian Howard. 2 down.
Howard's thrown so many of those breaking balls and has the most of the strikeouts on the breaking ball. Sometimes you get the hitter looking, thinking breaking ball. You can throw the old 4-seamer right by him, and that's exactly what Brian Howard did to Walker Pennington. You can see the swing just a little bit late. And again, the location just perfect. There's a bird flies right on through.
Almost got Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
Lane Shainvogel will pinch hit here for Texas A&M.
I'm sitting here looking at Brian Howard, and I'm wondering how he didn't go higher in the draft. I mean, this stuff is good. He's showing you great command. 2 different breaking balls he's been able to spot up. A changeup he's working in. Love the size. 6'9", only 185 pounds. When he fills out, I think the velo is going to go up even more. You can see just tied his career high with 12 punch-outs.
Also tied Alex Young's TCU College World Series strikeout record. Merrill to the backhand. Strong throw. Got him. It's a 1-2-3 frame. Time to stretch in Omaha. Brian Howard stretches his legs back to the dugout. Horned Frogs are 6 outs away from advancing in the College World Series. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. Tonight, 7 o'clock, Louisville and Florida. The loser of this one is done for the year. Top of the order for TCU, Austin Wade, Zach Humphreys, and Evan Scow. This trio really struggled against Alex Faedo a couple days ago. 0 for 11 with 6 strikeouts. Today, they've reached base 4 times. They've scored twice, and Scaug has driven in a run. "47 pitches out of the bullpen for Kaylor Chafin now, and he has done everything in his power to give Texas A&M a chance to get back in this game after the starter, Stephen Kolek, lasted just 2 2/3.
Yeah, how about my pitching line on my left-hander? 3 1/3, only 3 hits, not a walk, 3 punch-outs.
Right here.
Hit him in the batter's box and a foul ball.
Here we go. Yep.
Sharply hit. Hunter Coleman wins the race. 1 down. So Brian Howard giving TCU a fantastic start today, and if they're able to hold on and win this game, you start thinking about when they'll be out here next 2 days from now and try to work their way through the losers bracket.
They got some pitching to do it now. You got Mitchell Traver, you got Nick Lodolo, you got a championship pedigree. It's a program that could still make a long run.
Oh, I agree. Because, like you said, the pitching's there. The question for me is, can they continue to generate enough offense? You know, because at some point, the pitcher's not going to go out and just blow it up, you know, and just dominate and give up 1 or 2 runs or something. At some point, you're going to have to outslug somebody.
Rooney, what do you think about this TCU program?
Has to be a blowout for me, because you're going to need some arms that don't throw a lot to come in, and the offense. That's why the end of this game is important for the TCU offense. You're going to have to score some points.
A win here for TCU. They'll be back at it Thursday night at 7 o'clock on ESPN2 against the loser of tonight's game, Louisville and Florida, and would have to beat that team twice. Well, would have to beat the loser and then take on the winner and beat them twice to make it to the College World Series Finals. Best 2 out of 3 starting Monday.
Kaylor Chafin has been really, really good for Texas A&M. He's done exactly what Coach Rob Childress needed to do. You can see the catcher wanting that ball. Bedford saying, hey, give it to me down low. That was a changeup. Turns it over a little bit. Watch the downward action, and you can see right out in front of it was Humphreys.
Who does TCU match up better with, Berkey? Louisville or Florida?
Pick your poison on that one. That's a couple good clubs. I think TCU, with the fact that, again, they got 6 big outs to get in this ball game in just a 3-run game. If they're able to advance, I think TCU feels pretty good about Mitchell Traver and Nick Lodolo going up against anybody. And that's why they're here. They have pitched very well down the stretch, and they've figured out a way to score enough runs. And no matter who Louisville or Florida throws at them, both of those guys are going to match up well.
That'll close the inning on another strikeout as Scout goes down. We go to the 8th, and time's ticking against Texas A&M. So is the big right-hander, Brian Howard. Been a remarkable day for this elimination contest between a pair of rivals as TCU and Texas A&M meet for the 260th time, but never before have they met in Omaha. Well, the Gators are here. Mike Rivera and company ready to take on Louisville tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, with Eduardo Perez, Kyle Peterson, Laura Rutledge, and Carl Ravitch behind the mic. Should be a great one tonight. 2 heavyweights. Florida out of the SEC, and Louisville ran through the ACC again. In fact, their only hiccup was a late season series against Florida State and the ACC tournament, which Florida State won. Gators getting used to being here in Omaha and spending some time at TD Ameritrade. So are the Cardinals. They're back after some super regional heartbreak.
Cardinal fans are glad to see their club win one. 13-14 they came and went 0-2 both times. Nice for the Cardinal fans to get off to a good start.
George Yoncha leads off the 8th for Texas A&M. So Howard has dominated. He's sitting at 90 pitches right now. And TCU's bullpen slowly but surely starting to loosen up. Landestoy called off by Warner, and it's off the end of the mitt.
Well, the first thing you notice when you walk on this field is how much foul territory there is for the infielders to cover. Warner ran a really long way to get to this ball and just wasn't able to finish the catch. Did the hard part, got there, took a pretty good angle, just comes up a little bit short on the finish. That's frustrating when you run that far and aren't able to finish it.
Into center, turn around for Brown, and it goes over his head. Yoncha on his way to second base. He'll stop there with a leadoff double. And Nolan Brown did not see the ball very well off the bat, it seems.
We've seen that a few times this week. You see him wearing the sunglasses. It's bright today, but that might be the break the Aggies need, a foul pop-up that's not caught. And now down 3 here with just 6 outs to go. A huge at-bat from George Yoncha as he takes advantage. And Nolan Brown with a really bad break gets burned on a ball over his head. I don't know if he's catching that ball anyway, boys. That short hops the wall. A bullet off the 408 sign by George Yoncha. And here comes the Aggies.
Jorge Gutierrez is going to pinch hit here in the 9-hole for the senior shortstop Austin Holman. Holman was 1 for 2. They're going with a lefty against the right-handed Howard. And Evan Skog will go visit with his pitcher. Maybe to go over the scouting report real quick. And Gutierrez will chat with third base coach Will Bolt. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One Cup impact performance.
Howard's been on. He showed you 2 different breaking balls all day long. That was a tight one. That was the bigger one of the 2. He's been able to drop an arm slightly when he wants to. He can elevate and get a strikeout with the fastball. But it's been that pitch right there. The breaking ball has been the best one all day long. It's been spot on. It's been down the zone. And for the most part, it's been off the outside corner. I mean, he is just mix it up. And again, keep looking at the location of those pitches. I don't know if you can do it any better than that.
That'll do it for Howard after 92 pitches and a leadoff double. Sean Weimer will relieve him. You surprised they got him so early?
He's not happy about it. I am. A leadoff double, but they like their bullpen, the Horned Frogs.
So they'll put it in the hands of Sean Weimer in a 3-run game in the 8th. Seven shutout innings for Brian Howard, and he bites his lip as he exits the mound when Jim Schlossnagle takes him out.
I like that. He wants to stay in the ballgame, wants to finish what he started. But you can't really argue. I mean, 4th time through the lineup, you get a leadoff double. There's some frustration there. Maybe he feels like a ball. Maybe he should have been caught. So he'll be in the ballgame a little bit. And so, that, you know, he's on the edge just a little bit. But what an outstanding job. He's held a very good Texas A&M team way down. And you see those 12 strikeouts that tired a career high.
Inside the Team College World Series record, 12 Ks with 0 walks, but he only threw 92 pitches, 70 of which were for strikes. And he hands the ball off to a very talented right-hander, Sean Weimer, sophomore from Flower Mound, Texas. And if you've been following TCU this season, you know this guy's got gas. A 2.37 ERA, 6-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, and second-team all-conference performer.
Yeah, the fastball's 92 up to 96. Certainly a guy they expect to be in their weekend rotation next year. Slider's really good as well.
Jorge Gutierrez with the little flare that just passed the reach of Barzilli.
Howard's a pretty tough guy to read, isn't he?
If only he would wear his emotions on his sleeve.
Something tells me he's not a real good Texas Hold'em player.
Freshman from Sugar Land, Texas, Jorge Gutierrez.
Ball down.
Pinch hitting for the senior shortstop Austin Holman. So they're going to have to move their infield around in the bottom of the inning. Weimer spins one in.
Yeah, old Weimer's got the fastball up to 95, but saw a changeup for ball one, and then all of a sudden the breaking ball. Established fastball, very good difference in speed from the fastball to the changeup. Right about 10 miles an hour, which is about ideal.
One of Weimer's best outings this season came against Texas A&M back on March 4th. That was a game that went 15 innings, and Weimer entered in the 9th and put together 5 shutout, hitless innings of relief. He struck out 9 of the 15 batters faced and didn't walk anybody. We're seeing it's not just the fastball from Weimer.
Yeah, pretty impressive. You don't see a whole lot of freshman reliever come in and immediately show you 3+ pitches. And that's why they like him to be in the rotation here moving forward.
2-2 now.
Stuff's there to be a starter, no doubt. Big fastball, good changeup, good breaking ball. And how about that? Good command as he just dots the outside corner down at the bottom of the knees.
You know, we're talking in the break as Luke and Baker chats with Brian Howard, thinking you take Howard out after 92 pitches, he's still got plenty in the tank and he's been dominating, but you bring in a guy like Weimer and A&M must be thinking, really? Thought we were going to catch a break.
That stuff is really good. How about this pitch? 2-strike count, just off the outer third, but down at the bottom of the knees. And sometimes you see that change up, a couple of them in that breaking ball, you start thinking off speed, and all of a sudden you get 93 right by you.
Flag down by Weimer, looks the runner back and takes it to first. If you can impress Chris Burke with your fielding as a pitcher, you're doing something right.
That was beautiful. Not just the reactions to be able to glove the baseball, but the presence of mind to turn and pick up the runner and realize he's not far enough off. Watch, catch, immediately check the runner. Understand that he's not far enough off to make the throw, but looking back and finish the play, you can't do it any better than that.
Good athletic ability and better decision making.
Runes, what's the mood in the TCU dugout?
Well, Brian Howard and Luke and Baker storm around this place like two bulls in a corral. Pardon me if it's the wrong nomenclature there, but I mean, it's a little frightening, these guys.
What did we get right there?
What did he just say?
He's an 80 wordsmith. He dropped nomenclature on us.
That's not a word. Is it?
Runes, it looks like Baker's still the bouncer, but he's kind of moved more to bodyguard now for Brian Howard.
Like a handler for a boxer. It's really impressive.
Runes, we didn't go to Notre Dame. Nomenclature?
I'm going to make you guys Google that. I mean, we got to get better up there. Let's go.
Forgive us.
Was it Scrabble? That'd be a good Scrabble word.
Plus, plus.
Well, Bedford 1 for 3 with a double to his name. 0-2 now. And Howard, part cheerleader. They're going to wear out the floor of the dugout by pacing back and forth.
It's a good thing he put on his jogging shoes, because if he had spikes on right now, he'd have a hole worn in that mat in the bottom of that dugout. Nervous feeling, boys. You got those runs out there. That's your men out there on the base.
Bedford with a swing and a miss. Emotion in Omaha. Brian Howard will greet Sean Weimer. And the Horned Frogs in control here in the 8th.
The big right-hander. He's got his guy out there, and you get a big punch out from your buddy Sean Weimer. TCU up 4-1, going to the bottom of the 8th.
The NCAA College World Series is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles on every purchase every day. What's in your wallet?
Elimination game between TCU and Texas A&M. And Brian Howard has the Horned Frogs 3 outs away from a win. An all-hug team for Brian Howard. 12 Ks over 7 innings. The bullpen picks him up after he allowed a leadoff double. And the Horned Frogs are 3 outs away from ending Texas A&M's season for the 3rd consecutive year. It's a 4-1 lead for the number 6 national seed Horned Frogs. Taylor Chapin has been sensational. He has struck out 3 of the last 4 he's faced. He hasn't allowed a run since entering from the Texas A&M bullpen. But their offense has yet to get anything going. Only a run on 5 hits as Cam Warner leads off the 8th. Heath Jones has quickly dispatched the chirps from the A&M dugout, didn't he? Was effective.
Decisive action.
How you feeling right now if you're Brian Howard, Ben?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, you went out another big game. You did your thing. And then some. I mean, 12 strikeouts. That's a good feeling when you're sitting over there if you dealt for 7 or 8 innings. Your team's winning.
.60 pitches out of the bullpen now for Chafin.
It's just been fun to watch. You know, this is a type of kid that probably in today's world people don't think could find a way on a Texas A&M roster. You look at the stuff, 85, 87 with a breaking ball and a changeup, and well, he just comes out and does his job. And it's fun to watch a lefty like this when he's on, work at his craft. And the fact that he goes out there at 6 foot tall and 180 pounds, where Brian Howard's 6'9" and throwing 92, 93, but he's able to go out there and execute. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Sounds of the game. Heath Jones is behind the plate.
Ooh, yeah. Whoa.
Remember when Happy Gilmore went in the batting cages and just took fastballs off his chest?
Yeah, that's kind of what that sounded like, didn't it?
Warner down on strikes, 3rd straight K for Chafin. Tonight on ESPN, another College World Series MLB doubleheader. We start with number 3 seed Florida against 7 seed Louisville at 7 o'clock, and then out to Chavez Ravine, the Mets and Dodgers. Both games can be seen streaming live on the ESPN app. Justin Turner, former Fullerton star, went 4 for 4 with 4 RBIs yesterday. He's on a 14-game hit streak. I think little man's tracking down.
Maybe a snowball?
I like it. Snowball.
Still waiting on ours, Tommy.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know.
Because you asked for a snow cone. It's got to be a snowball.
How about that then?
There was a snowball.
Now it's snow gone. The lemonade. Maybe some seeds. We got presented a calzone last night.
There we go.
Oh, yeah. Make your own, huh?
Yeah, I like that. As much juice as you want, whatever flavor.
Well, we're going to take the Burt crew there tomorrow.
Thing is not small.
They just told me it's $11 for one of those. Maybe the Burt crew won't get to.
Well, they could split it up.
$7. Yeah, that's not.
You wear that ESPN golf shirt out there, it might give you a discount.
Okay.
Hey guys, couple things. First of all, we call those water ice or Italian ice in the streets of the suburbs of Philly. And also, Berkey, that thing you just saw, that's called the nap killer. I don't think the little ones are getting down after that thing.
No, they're not. The nap killer. What do you call it? Water ice? That's what he said?
Italian ice. It's a little bit different, I think, than a snow cone.
Yeah.
Italian ice is a little bit different, right?
A little bit better. Maybe a lot bit better.
Okay.
Ball outside.
Elliot Barzilli at the plate for TCU. The bottom line is we haven't had one this week. It's like we've been here for a week and a half. We presented a calzone yesterday. It's wider than home plate. Surprised young Jace McDonald didn't take down that calzone.
He probably had some of it. That thing was big. What's the plate? 18 inches? That calzone had to be 20.
Yeah. I learned something about the Twin Towers of the McDonald family this morning. Ben and his son Jace. You guys have the same haircut, but you go to different barbers to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, Jace kind of likes the new age kind of flat top, kind of looks the same, but he likes going to the more trendy spots. I'm still kind of stuck on my guy for a lot of years now. Mr. Howell. You know, Uncle Hal is up to about 77 now and still really good with the flat top. Really good. Sometimes I got to get home and maybe get a hair or two that he missed, but he still does a good job.
The third, and Yancha will finish the frame. A&M needs some offense if they want their season to continue. It'll be the heart of the Aggies order. Shoemake followed by Coleman, and then Kopetsky down 3 as we head to the 9th. Yeah, Big Game Howie is the man. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented by Capital One. Brian Howard in line for the victory. Would be his 12th win of the season and his 19th start. It's a 4-1 lead, and it's been handed off to the TCU bullpen. And the guy who replaced Brian Howard on the mound has been just as effective against A&M this season. Sean Weimer has thrown 6 innings against the Aggies. He's retired all 18 batters he's faced with 11 strikeouts.
That works.
Rally caps are out for the Aggies.
Ball out.
So with the win today, Brian Howard will lead, or pardon me, be second in the nation with 12 wins. He leads the nation now with 19 starts. Braden Shoemake shifted over to short last time in the field. Freshman is 1 for 3. You had something really interesting to say, Ben, when Shoemake, and Berkey, you were in on this too, when Shoemake got his first inning hit with nobody on. and you said he's not going to see that pitch again, especially with anyone on base.
Yeah, 2 outs, nobody on. They gave him what he wants, which is a fastball out over the plate. Later in the game, they've pitched him in and used soft stuff to get him out. And you'll see that a lot from veteran pitching coaches or veteran pitchers, depending on who's calling the game, which is give them what they want when they can't hurt you, but later in the ball game, go to what you believe to be their holes.
Yeah, that's like plus pitch calling, you know, and we used to do that in the big leagues all the time, and that's what you do. If you're a good fastball hitter, I may pitch you to your strengths with nobody on base, or maybe I got a pretty good lead, a 3 or 4 run lead late in the ball game with 2 out, nobody on. I may pitch you right to your strength to continue to set you up, because some hitters are just too good. If you stay one way with them all the time, they adapt very quickly. And so that's kind of the game within the game of knowing what guys' strengths are, what your strengths are, and I don't want to show you how I'm going to get you out in those big situations.
Hunter Coleman in the cleanup spot for Texas A&M. Rally Pickles. Not gonna lie, it's just a little bit creepy.
Yeah, I'm not on the Rally Pickle.
It's one of the only rally items that you can snack on, though, so it's got that going for it.
That's true.
And it could also maybe help prevent blisters or treat them.
Could.
No problems with Brian Howard's blister today. He needs a seatbelt. 0-2 to Coleman.
Ball. One, two.
It's a good look. To third. Barzilli on the run. Beautiful. 2 down. And the Aggies down to their last out against TCU. The winner of this one will take on the loser of the night game, Louisville and Florida. You got that jacket in your closet, Ben?
I can't say I have one of those, Tom.
Here's Blake Kopetsky for Texas A&M. Strike 2. To short. Merrill, the Omaha native, finishes it off for TCU, and the Horned Frogs live to play another day. Big Game Howie picks up the victory, his 12th of the season, to go with 12 strikeouts over 7 innings, and A&M will head home. Postseason domination for the Horned Frogs against their rivals from College Station.
And that one hurts. That one hurts for a couple different reasons. But credit TCU, they played really well. They pounded the strike zone, played nearly flawless in the field, and Brian Howard lived up to his reputation as Big Game Howard.
Yeah, we knew the TC pitching staff was strong. And I tell you what, when you strike out 14 against A&M, pretty good hitting ball club, and more importantly that you don't walk a batter. No free passes. Some of the games we've seen in the College World Series, pitchers have not commanded the zone very well. These two guys did it as good as anybody did. 14 punch-outs, no walks, only 1 run, and of course 5 hits. I really like TCU. I think they're playing with a lot of confidence, and the pitching depth is there for TCU, especially out of that bullpen, to make a deep run through the losers bracket.
Both pitchers have dominated Texas A&M this season, and in his career, Howard now has struck out 23 Aggies against only 3 walks. Here's what the bracket looks like. TCU advances to play the loser of Louisville, Florida. They meet tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN. Texas A&M 2 and Q. They're done and headed back to College Station. Florida State and LSU Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern to try and stay alive. Oregon State will see the field again on Friday. Brian Howard picks up the victory. We've got more coming your way from Omaha as the Horned Frogs stay alive. Now TCU with a chance to celebrate. Their pitching was better than their singing today. They stay alive in the College World Series with a 4-1 win behind the pitching of Brian Howard. 12 strikeouts over 7 innings. He towered over A&M today, and he's doing the same thing with our Mike Rooney.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, Brian Howard, dominant performance by you. What did you have working today? What was the plan against A&M?
Just attack the bottom half of the strike zone. I mean, just go after it and get a bunch of strikes, throw a bunch of strikes at the bottom half, and they're an aggressive bunch. They're a real good offense, but, you know, they're aggressive, so they're going to be swinging early in counts and get some quick outs and go ahead and just fill up that bottom.
Your nickname is Big Game Howie, and you live up to it again. Is this a fluke, or what is it? What is it about the big games that suits you?
I don't know. I love it. I think it's fun. It's more fun. I love the regular season as well. I always have to say that. And then it's fun. It's fun to go out there and compete with your back against the wall, and hopefully we compete with our backs against the wall all week. I mean, we just got to fight like crazy to stay around.
How about your emotions when you came out of the game? I would say not super happy when you came out of the game and a lot of activity. Tell me about that.
That happens to me a lot. I don't ever want to come out of a game. But I told Coach Schlossnagle after the inning, I go, good call. Because Shawnee came out and left that guy out at second. A great job and keeping him there. And Sean, I was happy when I saw Sean. Sean's my guy. He loves coming in those situations. He always does a good job. So it was the right move. It was the right move at the right time, and I'm happy it worked out.
3 straight years you play the Aggies at a big point in the season, and you end their season. What is it about this rivalry that's causing that?
I don't know what's going on. They're a great program and a great team, and we just caught the breaks the last 3 years. I expect it'll continue to happen. I mean, it's crazy how it keeps lining up like this, but we're just going to keep fighting no matter who it is. I got a really close friend, probably going to be my wedding, Walker Pennington, on that team whenever I get married. I have a lot of respect for that program, their coaching staff, and those players. It's a really good time when we get together.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks.
Tom?
All right, Rune Sanks, he said they're going to have to keep fighting with their back against the wall. Dutch Meyer, the former TCU football coach, said it best. You're going to fight until hell freezes over, then fight them on the ice. And that's what TCU's going to need to do to come out of this thing and make it to the finals.
Yeah, well, we talked about it in the broadcast. I really like this club. You got Mitchell Traver, who is a really talented arm, has battled injuries his whole career, but he can shut anybody down. And then Nick Lodolo, a kid who turned down a couple $1 million to show up on campus and looked really good the other night against Florida. So TCU has the pitching to stay around here.
And they've got some hitting, too. A hometown kid, Ryan Merrill, goes yard. In this one, he's chatting with Runes.
Ryan, so you go deep sauce in your hometown. That's got to feel unbelievable. Tell me about that at bat in that moment for you.
It was awesome. You know, we're having fun playing baseball. We don't want it to end, so I'm just doing my best. Obviously, if I put one over the wall, then let's just run with it. So a little surprised, but it was, you know, I think I might have blacked out a little bit, but glad we got the win and keep playing baseball.
It's a special senior class, you guys at TCU. You guys have done so many great things in the postseason. What is it about you and your classmates that have made this happen?
I think just like the bond that we share, that we've had these past years. It's an incredible group, and we just want to keep playing baseball together.
Thanks a lot.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, so Merrill goes yard in this one. TCU with a 4-1 victory. We'll get ready for the game tonight between Florida and Louisville. The Florida staff has been fantastic, coming off consecutive 3-0 shutouts. They haven't allowed a run in 18 consecutive scoreless innings pitched now. Florida reached the College World Series finals both times when starting 2-0. Louisville has never won more than one game in the single College World Series. It seems evident, as it has been all season, that the strength of Florida is their pitching staff.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, talk about Brady Singer. His stuff, when it's on, can be as good as anybody. He can throw up a lot of zeros. You know, you look at Louisville, the offense is really good. I mean, that's the one big advantage I think they have over Florida, obviously, is the fact they score 2 runs per game all year long, more than what Florida has. But pitching's going to be the difference here. I love this matchup. These two teams that have been to Omaha, neither one has broken through yet with a College World Series victory. They've been here a lot the last 10 years, so this is going to be a great game tonight.
I agree. I think both teams are going to work on limiting the free passes because they know their starters are really good. I give Louisville a little bit of an advantage on outfield defense. That could play a part because Cade McClure throws a lot of fly balls. But you got 2 really talented right-handers on the mound and a couple clubs that could win the whole thing.
How does Louisville match up against Singer?
I think they can do a few different things. So you got a talented hitters in the middle of the order, number 4, number 5 with McKay and Ellis. So he's got to navigate those two guys and then be able to control the running game. If so, he can pitch them deep into the ball game like we've seen from him in the past.
Winner, that one will have a huge advantage, but everybody seems to be chasing Oregon State after their blowout win against LSU last night. And they'll see the field again on Friday. Once again, our final score, TCU 4, Texas A&M 1. Stay tuned. Next, it's Around the Horn. And tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN, Florida and Louisville. For Ben McDonald, Chris Burke, Mike Rooney, I'm Tom Hart. So long for now from Omaha.